And hello, everybody. Happy Saturday.
Hi.
We are Hard Knock Dice. My name is Jonesy, your dungeon master for the evening, and these beautiful people around me are your heroes for the evening and my best friends. Today we continue across Eberron, but before we do, as always, if I can get an exclamation mark charity in the chat, we're raising money with Extra Life. Extra Life is a charitable organization. Oh, thank you for that. I was about to do it myself. And we're specifically raising money for the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. So go do the lawful kind thing, donate some money, open your heart wallets to a really great cause. And yeah, so any other, we got 1,000 birthdays in August. Have we covered all of them so far? Okay. Happy birthday, all of you folks. All right.
It's
Congratulations.
September now.
It is September. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Stop. Anyways.
August 2.
It feels like it outside, I ain't gonna lie. It's still fucking spicy outside. All right. So we had some birthday last week. Some of these folks got some refreshed birthday 20s, and they're gonna need them after I'm done. So you got to start off your session with a mild threat. That's the way it goes. Any other announcements? Cool things, awesome things, wonderful things?
Nope.
Nope. Nada. Zip.
Mattresses are heavy.
Mattresses are heavy.
They can be.
Indeed. All right. In that case.
Context?
Hard Knock Dice PSA.
Lift with your legs, not your back. I almost said that in reverse. So we in Hard Knock Dice do not care about your safety. Hurt yourself. So you can watch more of our channel, of course. Anyways, last we left off, our heroes trekking through the Moorlands, a wasteland of what the country that was once known as Kyrie, Crowley's homeland. Sent here by an acquaintance, ? An old friend? Their old buddy Milo, who went missing in a strange accident not too long ago. Our team had a brief meeting with him after Milo said that it was necessary, and our team told him the cops were looking for him. Our heroes here have been making their way through this strange wasteland, encountering odd terrain and odd monsters and spirits. Among these odd encounters, they have also met the survivors of an airship known as the Wanderer. 3 survivors who have sustained what would be outside of the Moorlands fatal injuries, but for some reason, the Moorlands' odd magic are seemingly keeping these folks alive. Otto and Koshik have made it a goal of theirs to attempt to try to fix these people before they get out of the Moorlands and gamble their lives when they exit. Pip and Brune, the newcomers to the group, not so sure about how all these altruistic measures that the Shining Vanguard are taking. And they let that be known. They were attacked by a living spell, a living prismatic wall, and were able to get out of there, mostly unscathed. They turned into bats and took towards the foggy skies before running into the town that I know it's just hard to pronounce. It's called Blooming Groves. I definitely didn't have to look at my notes for that. The town of Blooming Groves, an automated agricultural town that Crowley knew of back when it was Kyrie. And it seems that some of the automation is still going on long after no living creatures seem to be around here. Farm equipment still moves around. Grocery automatons still active, albeit a bit malfunctioning. There we go. That's the word. So we're going to pick back up after our heroes, one group looking into Kenneth's farm machinery and supply, looking to see what they can make. Otto specifically looking to see what type of transportation he might be able to cobble together out of the ruins of what is in this shop. The other party that went to the Quinn's general store found a small warforged, black iron warforged, no more than about 3.5 feet tall, with spinning blades on its forearms after an attack on I almost said Pike, on Pip and attempting to run away, he was quickly stunned and dealt with, and now lies unconscious on the ground. However, we're going to leave that scene for just a moment and go towards our friend Otto and the farm and in the machinery shop. So, Otto, you've been working here for a while now. Brune has helped you out for a few minutes in marking some metals that were strong enough and not turned to dust. That was another thing that happened last session, as well as that the denizens of this town weren't just simply blasted away. They seemed to have been turned into some sort of hardened ash that were leaking tears from their eyes. And Artyom found out very quickly that tears would also petrify them if they were to touch it. So, now in this farm machinery shop, Otto, a mix of running around the shop, identifying parts, but also your genius intellect at work, pieces of paper out with ink and quill, drawing out sketches and blueprints of what you're gonna be able to adapt these parts into different things. But when you're sort of in the middle of this, you hear the front door open. You look over towards the front door, and it's not your friends, but your acquaintances that you made on the road, as Vonora, Gabriel, and Xandros walk into the shop. Vonora walking up to you and saying, "Your friends were sneaking around the corner, and before we heard too much, we just left them to it. They seemed like they had whatever that was handled. And so we were going to get to somewhere that seemed a little bit safer."
I see. Please be careful inside the building. There are still threats within the area.
Indeed, we will. What are you doing?
I'm attempting to construct an auto carriage that could facilitate more consistent and safer travel for all of us.
Very well. Is there some way that we can help?
I don't know, DM. Is there some way that they could help?
You tell me.
Sure. Please be mindful of the environment. And he gestures kind of at the statues and maybe any less stable-looking bits of metal or leftover bits of construction. But he will direct them as far as like basically treating them like gophers. They're not professional. They don't know the things or capable of the actions that he would be capable of, but like, hold this steady while I screw this in, or could you bring me that screwdriver? I'm, don't need to move. That could ruin the workflow, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think right now we're not quite at a construction stage. We're still at a planning and drafting phase for Otto. So, but they can absolutely do the fetch maneuver for you.
For sure.
Like parts,
grab
and
materials
stuff.
or whatever.
They very well. They walk out. Probably a few minutes later, no more than about 5 or so. Gabriel walks up to you. Vonora and Xandros have walked off and further into the warehouse at this point. Gabriel comes up to you and talks in hushed tones. It's a little bit closer to you as you're sort of moving, drawing out and sketching out your options here.
Please do not bend. I am still concerned about your back. We do not need to cause further injury.
Of course. I do have a question for you.
Of course.
Xandros' injury. It's much more severe, as far as I can tell, than the rest of us.
It is a deeply concerning wound.
Why have you decided to work on him first?
Are you familiar with the standard medical practices? Oh, and I just mind blanked. Cody mind blanked super hard. Oh my god. Not diagnostics. Where you decide the
triage.
Triage. The basic medical practices of triage.
No.
Generally speaking, you treat the worst wounds first. In a normal situation, anyone this far gone would be considered past help. But as we are in a situation where your wounds are not progressing, I am proceeding as if it was not.
Do you think this is still the right call for a not normal situation? What happens if you run out of time?
I am unsure. I am making the right call for my soul, I believe. I will try to save you all.
Right when you say this, Xandros sort of yelling from the back of the warehouse. I found some more equipment out back. Gabriel, help me look around. Thank you, she said, and walks away. So, Otto, let's talk real quick. I have some options for you. You can absolutely flavor these how you wish to, but we're going to throw some mechanics on what you're able to do and build here. For your viewing pleasure and the stream's viewing pleasure, I'm going to go to the battle map screen, but we're not going to be battle mapping. I'm going to post it in the Skype chat for you as well, so you can click on those, and let's go over to our battle maps.
Oh, hell yeah, brother.
So everyone else can see as well. Otto, with ooh, Lord, our cameras are doing stuff. With the materials that you have at your disposal, you think you can do a couple of things. You have options, as it were, and options are always good. So we're going to, as soon as I figure out whose camera is missing and why they're missing, we'll fix this real quick. And your camera's going wild. There we go. Someone went into the mirror realm. It was Ian. Ian went into the mirror realm.
Ah!
Who's this Ian?
Brun.
As Wilhelm screamed into the mirror.
All right. So, our first option here, and I'll just kind of talk you through it. I know you're probably reading through it, and I'm going to give you some time to consider these things. So, our first option here, you think that you could make the most of small, compact vehicles, motorbikes, two-wheeled vehicles that are very light and very fast. Their utility comes in where they have essentially, mechanically speaking, a high AC, but they do have low hit points. They have the best maneuverability out of all of the options that you can consider. They also have some abilities down there that you can check out as well, that may be useful or may not be. So you figure the capacity on these motorbikes are 1. They can sit 1 person. You can make, with what you have in here, 10 motorbikes. Okay?
Do we have a sheet for the motorbike?
Yep, it is. It should be.
I got
It's the
buggy
last
and
one.
tank
If you click on the buggy, it's the last. There's 3 images.
there we go.
did
Just
it
click
post
to
it
the end.
out of order? Unfortunate.
all good. I got them all saved anyway, so
The
perfect.
capacity is 1. It can only hold about 100 pounds of cargo, so anybody that is extra heavy or something like that may need to put cargo on another person's bike. And also, the threshold on it. This is a damage threshold. What this means is the motorbike has the lowest of all of the damage thresholds. If it takes over that amount of damage, then something has the chance of going wrong with the bike and will require repairs. Okay?
Roger.
Our second option, of which you can make 2, are the buggies. They can seat 5 each. They have about 5 times as much cargo room with 500 pounds. A lot more HP, a little bit lower AC, and a higher damage threshold, and they're a little bit slower. This is your medium ground between speed and versatility. This is your versatile option. A little bit more HP, still pretty dexterous, and it also has some weaponry on top that you could have some space to mount weaponry onto. Okay.
Noted.
Our last option here, you can make 1 of tank bus. Lowest AC, most HP by far, and also the slowest. But you think that it would probably get you to wherever you needed to be and would rarely need to be repaired unless it took severe amounts of damage. It also has a couple of abilities on its own. So unless you immediately have an answer for me, I can let you ruminate on that, and we'll go over to our other folks.
Let's do that one. I'm going to read through these real quick.
While you look over the blueprints, examining all of the options that you have, we will swap back to the right screen first. All right. So, auto works away. The rest of you who have snuck up on this black iron warforged, who made strange whirrings and beeps and boops at you as it attacked and attempted to run away before Crowley stunned it, and then it was put down nearly immediately. It now sits there, leaking some sort of pneumatic fluid out of the side. What are you doing?
I assume that by this juncture, I could have made it all the way around the building.
You are,
since I was
at
that
this
front
point,
corner.
you are all the way
Okay.
around the corner.
Okay.
Yes, all of you are. The kind of marching order that we had going on was, I believe, Azur was up front, Crowley shortly behind, Kaushik behind him. You would be last. Pip was up first on the other side of the building, and RTM in between Brune and Crowley, if I'm not mistaken. Did RTM go around the corner of the building, or did he just stay up front?
I think I was not going. I think I was using Barrick to move around inside the building when things were going crazy.
Okay. Yeah. So you could tell me what you're doing there, RTM, if you would like to go around the side of the building after hearing this sort of.
Yeah, I'll start making my way around the building.
Yeah.
After that commotion's happened.
Absolutely. The rest of you, what are you doing?
Approaching the robot.
Hammer or like a sledgehammer type looking thing laying around,
A sledgehammer looking thing?
or like just like a big pipe, any like
A bludgeon.
a whapping tool.
Give me
sorry,
an
that's a bad-
investigation check.
Okay.
Investigation.
Not very observant. Just ticked off. Investigation. So 11.
You don't see anything particularly heavy back here. There's a couple of trash cans and stuff, but you don't think it'd add actual heft. Whatever you're trying to do.
Are we still split off? She's still around the back with the dumpsters. I'm still with Azur and...
I think at this juncture we're all kind of in that same vicinity, aside from our
okay.
team who's in front of the building.
Let me
so.
pause real quick because I see what's going on in chat as well. Do you guys want to take a moment to talk OOC about the vehicles?
I mean,
Rather than trying to role play one scene and talk OOC in chat, it seems like the better option. No, it's okay. Fine. I want you guys to like. So you're good. If you guys want to talk OOC about what y'all want to do with that, that's fine.
let's take a quick moment.
Go for it.
All right.
Go for it.
So logistics are
here. I pulled my
10
1 sec.
10 motobikes,
Correct.
I can hear.
2 buggies, or 1 tank bus, or some combination of bikes and buggies.
And buggy, correct. You could also make like 5 motorbikes and 1 buggy.
Right.
Correct.
My initial inclination is to say tank bus because that keeps us all together.
Right.
Has the better firepower between the 3 options.
Right.
And
Does it come in yellow?
does it come in yellow?
Why doesn't he be yellow?
The and that higher damage threshold feels a little bit safer.
It's a lot beefier, but it's also a lot slower.
Yeah, and then just
My only thought is if we do, I would say either the tank bus or the 2 buggies, because I feel like 10 bikes. I don't know about you guys. I don't know what everybody's like capacity, like weight is. I am at least 142 pounds,
Yeah,
and that's not much I can redistribute.
the bikes seem like the most dangerous option because if one person goes down, it could potentially be much more problematic to get them back up or on something.
Right, and mixing them with the buggies seems a little counterintuitive because the big bonus from the bikes is they're fast. They're really fast. And if the buggy is slower, then they can only move as fast as the buggy, so kind of a waste of mobility.
Unless
Thing
we're
with the
going to
tank
use them to
bus.
scout.
Unless you
The
can
tank-
We're not.
Yeah, with the tank bus, the other thing is with less drivers needed, we can rotate people like resting and moving, so we just keep going. It may be slower, but it's constant.
I
Potentially.
mean, we could do the same thing with the buggy. We have a lot of people. We can do 2 drivers
Yes.
consistently, and
It'd
that
just
is
be a little
significantly
bit-
faster.
Significantly faster, but again, like if we do run into conflict, the has more survivability than even the 2 buggies put together, and then the more damage. So, I definitely think it's between the 2 buggies and the tank bus.
Oh,
Personal preference would be tank bus if we're all doing votes.
I would vote for 2 buggies just because tank bus has the potential to get stuck.
Yeah,
Them
one
buggies going
vehicle.
to go over
Oh, that's
everything.
true. Yeah. The
And it's way
buggies can
heavier.
juke.
We
Yeah.
we could unstick a buggy. I feel like pretty easily,
Yeah.
but a tank bus maybe.
Do
more
like
So what's
problem.
the driving skill going to be here? Plus intelligence.
DM, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
As far as the that would be a good one. Is what would be rolled for driving? So that would be 2 questions I have then.
Yeah, if you are proficient in vehicles, which I know Crowley has some proficiency there, then you would add that. But if not, it's going to be a dex check.
Okay. The second question. Oh, go ahead.
No,
Sorry.
no, go ahead.
The second question would be, I imagine the tank bus being a bus, a big boon would be having like the workspace inside, so we could, repair things, set up like,
Yeah.
medical treatment and stuff like that. We have a space. Do the buggies also have a smaller space, or is it pretty much you sit and ride?
It's just sitting room.
You have 5
Yeah.
people in there. The harpoon, the singular harpoon slinger that you have would be someone standing up in the middle of the seats, essentially sticking out their head up through the roof.
It really is just like a dune buggy.
The bus is gonna be pretty. I presume it's like a APC.
Yeah, I would definitely say tank bus then, because we can
So-
like do repairs and healing and people resting while we're in there. Because
That's a good point. Yeah, because it's like kind of like a rolling camp.
yeah,
So as long as we park beside the rails, then we're good.
Especially with people with the driving skill, then people could actually rest in turns.
yeah.
Do we have
And
more
I've
than
got-
one person who has proficiency with vehicles?
Auto does?
So we have 2.
I've got a
Probably
19
does.
dex.
Oh, does RTM as well?
No, I was just cheering that we had 2 people.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh wow.
I was like, what?
Aren't-
Okay.
Actually, that's
Otherwise, I was going to be like, we could take the bikes if I could convince the DM to give me a performance check just to one wheel the whole way through.
So for all of
Pop a
the
wheelie.
reasons, those are why I think that the tank bus would be the safest option. But
Yeah. As much as I want Pip to be able to like jump something on a bike, I
thank you.
think like group wise, the tank bus makes better sense.
I will say this as well. This is something that all of you would easily know, is that just based off of size and weight, motorbikes capsizing, not much of a problem to flip it back over. Dune buggies capsizing, a little bit easier to flip over than, I say a little bit more difficult to flip over than the motorbikes, but still doable. Tank bus goes over,
very hard.
you're flipped.
It's an effort.
Effort is gonna be like DC 30 next to impossible type check.
If I was large, would it be easier?
Yeah,
If
like
that
we
gives
could
you some sort of
expend
bonus, it'd probably
resources,
give you
yeah.
advantage, yeah.
Well,
think
I get advantage on straight checks regardless, but
Medium,
seeing as my carrying capacity would be is way higher as a large creature, I didn't know if that would reduce the DC.
Yeah,
Plus, that gives
higher
you
carrying capacity.
bonuses too.
Right.
Everyone gets a bonus to lift. I'll just stand in the back. Pull.
What was that, Otto?
I was just saying, and then spells like bull strength and stuff that I know we have access to. It would require resource expenditure at the very least, probably.
Right.
So
Okay.
Yeah, and
I mean, well, and there's always the spells can be bad, but we could do it if we needed to. Clarifying question, DM, what is Devil's Ride advantage?
Do what? What's up?
In there it says juke. If the buggy is able to move, the driver can use its reaction to grant the Devil's Ride advantage on a dexterity saving throw.
It is the machine itself. That's from copy paste mistakes is what that is.
Okay.
Gotcha.
I figured I wanted to clarify.
Yep.
All right. Okay. Anybody else have things to throw in before I say we take a vote?
Yeah, there's mobile workshop / camp / med tent.
I highly doubt that we're going to be going across the Mournlands and you're going to be able to really do surgery or experimentations in the back of a bus going 60 feet or 10 feet a second.
But I do like the shelter option.
It is a shelter thing. We could like sleep in it.
Yeah, like it does keep us close.
I know people have to perform surgeries in highly moving vehicles over rough terrain and other situations, so it's doable.
They do not have to do high level spinal fusion surgeries while moving through a wasteland.
I've done it myself.
In a tank.
Right.
But that's just Tuesday for me.
I wasn't just referring to them though. I meant like in general, like injured people and stuff.
Yeah.
What are the sound systems like in each one of them?
Important question.
No sound systems. You can only find one type of horn, and it's a clown horn.
Is it a clown horn?
Yeah.
I was hoping for La Cucaracha.
Yeah, but in the tank I get enough reverb, so if I wanted to play drums, I can go, right?
Oh yeah,
we can strap somebody to the back.
Mad Max.
I thought you was talking about the music that was going to be like blasting as we go across.
Guys, technically I can performance horn, so I'm just saying.
Jesus.
That's
anyway.
A much longer range.
Anyway, vote. I think it's pretty clearly comes down to two buggies versus the tank bus.
Yeah, 100%.
Votes.
Seems like tank bus to me. Persuasion.
So,
tank bus.
Votes for tank bus. Hands up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, before we even okay, that's pretty unanimously tank bus.
Probably
all right.
The room.
Tank bus it is.
I'm so sad, but yes.
Yeah, I mean,
we can come back
if we get it stuck or flipped or something, we're gonna have to risk it for the biscuit, and I'm gonna have to get big somehow.
Selfishly, our town definitely wanted to have some motorcycle like Spider-Woman, Thornwhip stuff going on, but
sick as hell.
Absolutely.
I just wanted to pop a wheelie and just let the DM let me performance check my way through the Mournlands.
Noted. So after
I just want to keep jumping stuff.
The campaign after the next campaign, Mad Max style.
There you go.
All right.
There it is.
Who's running it?
You got to catch your players with cool stuff every now and again. They got to take the cool factor eventually over mechanical advantage, but you know. All right.
This is gonna be cool. You think we're not gonna be have people strapped to the top of this bus? Hell yeah.
I think you can be popping willies in this bus.
Oh yeah.
People like hanging out the window, like you know.
All right. So. Jesus Christ. Otto, I will say, Cody, Otto, I will say these are just general designs to get your mind started on where you want to go. Feel free to explore that as you will.
Roger.
Okay, so back to the Warforged, bleeding out on the ground, leaking out on the ground. Better word for it.
It's not actively like conscious, or it doesn't seem like it's trying to move around or anything. It is down for the count.
Yes, not moving. Correct.
Okay.
Wait, doesn't Brune have a hammer?
I have a war pick, so technically one side of it is a hammer.
Okay, so Pip's gonna turn to Brune and be like, "Load me for a moment."
What?
Just for a moment.
What do you need it for? You have a weapon.
Like you're an idiot, like looking at the thing.
Where did this creature come from? What is it, and where has it?
It came from the trash. It came from the garbage. Do you want it to chase you again?
I believe it is currently not a threat. If we have
Wasn't a threat in the garbage either.
let us not be overly hasty. In case he just kind of looks around, there are those that would wish for it to be alive and would do us harm if it was dead. I would like to examine this bad boy.
Holding her arm up. Where it cut her.
It is a flesh wound.
What did us harm?
It is harm.
It does harm. We know for a fact it'll do us harm.
But if
We
we are
must
going to be
rivet.
here for long enough for Otto to create a vehicle of some kind, we need to hopefully not antagonize whatever's around. Hopefully.
Just gonna roll her eyes. Me. And then just kind of like walk around the corner. She's like, she just like, her head is just throbbing with this, like, not killing things that are dangerous.
I would like to examine the
by this
teeny
time.
warforged.
Yeah, go ahead and give me, what are you checking out on it?
I guess what I'm looking for is I'm looking for if it has any like identifying markers. Like, I know it's a fucking robot,
Mhm.
but I mean like anything that looks like in the same way as like that like different clans of like dwarves or Duragar things in the Underdark have like tendencies to have like identifying like tattoos or anything like that. Or is any kind of like insignia, like if it has any identifying marker on it.
Give me a quick investigation check. Now, RTM, you're around the corner by this
Surely.
point as well.
I do not have advantage on this. Rip.
Just for clarification, this looks like a dark metaled miniature warforge.
Correct.
Little teeny. It's like a small, like size category, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I got a 17 on that investigation.
17 is very good. As far as identifying marks, you do find what looks to be like a model number, which says WZ13 on the side, like on one of the metal bars that are running through it.
That's weirdly low.
And the rest of it, so you're looking for identifying marks.
Yeah, like I guess like even like a maker's mark or like any kind of insignia, like a company insignia. Like, was this created by House Caneth?
Yeah.
Or anything like that. Just anything that may either signify that it is with a group of any specific kind, or if it was indeed created.
Yeah, I'll say you will see that like right beside that model number, you will also see on the inside like a property of House Caneth sort of insignia stamped on like one of the inside of the hit plates. Like this is like in there. This is for what you've rolled.
Okay.
And then I think with the 17, you would also notice something that might not be standard on a Warforged necessarily, in that you see on his what would be pauldrons. This isn't a very heavily armored creature, but his like shoulder couplets right here, there are small blades, like small dagger blades on each shoulder, like 3 of them.
Like,
and it looks like they've been welded there. Like, not well.
To create pauldrons for itself. It has like knife pauldrons.
Yeah, almost. It doesn't look like it's actually functional as armor, maybe.
Right.
Yeah.
But almost like decorative.
Mm-hmm.
Just gonna write down knife pauldrons. Cool. Interesting. Okay. But definitely like not done by a professional. Like you said, it looks like they've just kind of like haphazardly welded on there.
Yeah, like maybe even from the angles that you're seeing, you've worked with metal, it looks like maybe even this creature did it itself.
Gotcha. Okay. And I'm trying to remember. I do apologize. What all dangers was the entire party aware of within the Mournlands? Do we know of like rogue Warforged being present?
Yes, of all the dangers that I have said about the Mournlands, general knowledge of it, that is, And that's other than the monstrosities, the aberrations and monstrosities that have been seen walking out of it and been spotted within. You'd also known that there were a few other denizens in here other than the Warforged that supposedly follow some enigmatic creature, Jesus words, known as the Lord of Blades.
Blades. Duke of Scalpel. That is a commandant of the Lord of Blades is the Duke of Scalpel.
The Duke of Scalpel.
That's so good. I like that. Cannon. Okay. Interesting. I'm just gonna kind of like, you said this thing's little, so I'm just gonna kind of pick it up. It makes a noise as I pick it up.
As you pick it up, the like cogs and gears inside of it as it slumps over sort of like quickly wind up, and it like almost collapses into almost like briefcase size. Like his arms stay hanging down.
Fucking assassin bot.
But his arms stay hanging down, but he does like collapse, and it's almost like handle sized where you pick him up at where his torso hinges from his legs.
Either that or he looks kind of like a B1 battle droid. One of the two. One of these things.
You tell him
They're
they
making a
upgraded
clip
the
right
base
now.
case
Pip
game.
saying, "I told you so."
It is not
David.
harming me at this time. But if we just gotta kind of look at the general group and just kind of hold it up, like, yeah, if there are Warforged that inhabit here, I mean, if we could perhaps speak to it,
I feel
we
like
could
if,
or at least not any kind of negotiation, but avoid perhaps where its friends are, if it has any. Go around them. Make sure we're not on a crash course.
well, look, why did you guys? I mean, I guess who started the conflict? Anybody?
I was not here quite yet.
What appears
On
to
around
be
the corner, but she can still hear, and she's like, "I was just looking at the trash can for the sound. What started the sound? I didn't start a conflict this time."
okay. So
But I stunned it as soon as it started making noise. It
so
seemed to be
we
racing somewhere.
attacked it as it was hiding in the garbage. Perhaps, maybe that could have been the thing that happened.
Maybe, but it was racing somewhere.
I mean, I imagine it's a pretty dangerous place out here in the Borderlands.
Could
We
have
should
been
take
getting
him
somewhere.
to Otto and see if we can wake him up. Maybe, we can. He might have
But-
some information about surviving in the Mornland. That we could trade something, or I don't know. Lord of Blades guys, they can't all be assholes, right?
At the very least, we may be able to avoid his friends, or its friends, their friends, whatever.
Pip's gonna
We-
like kind of half back around the corner. Can auto plug into him?
Can he what?
Read his data? Can auto plug into him? Like, read his, what's going on with his stuff.
Hey yo.
Otto, can you do something like that?
Otto is not here, Koshi.
Where's Otto?
Just across the
He's-
street.
That's building a-
Otto, can you do
Get a
something
bus.
like that?
Otto's in the auto shop. He's fucking. He's crafting.
Otto's
I'll
building
go
your
get him.
murder bus, okay?
I'll
Yeah,
go
that's
get
what I
him.
was sending. Duh.
Well, we can. Quite
Yeah.
frankly, I don't see being in the open is particularly good. We can perhaps just go to him inside where things are less likely to see us.
Yes, of course.
With that, Brun will start walking off the briefcase
Josh
spot.
is gonna start walking towards where Otto.
Okay.
Can Pips dip into the general store again just to and do a quick look around? She's looking for a bottle of liquor and a hammer. Are the two things that she would like to have, or that
That
she's
is
got
a-
her eyes out.
That is a deeply concerning combination.
Welcome to Queens.
As the bot seems to falter a little bit when you walk in, the automaton Jeffrey, and you're walking in, you're
Wait,
just looking for
Jeffrey?
wine or something.
Wine, liquor, something.
Give me an investigation check.
Darn it. She's just not observant these days. Moreland's got her messed up. Okay, hang on.
It's foggy. It'd be that way sometimes.
It do be
Foggy.
foggy.
It's foggy. Why can't I remember what my... So it's a 13.
Okay. It's not bad.
Some kind of alcohol and a hammer.
If you're looking for alcohol, it's fairly sparse in this shop. I will say that you find like a couple of bottles that haven't of like ale. It's been here for at least a couple of years, so you're not sure how good it's gonna be.
All right. You should just grab it. I mean, you don't know till you try, right? So she'll grab those bottles,
Okay.
pick them, and then keep looking for that hammer.
Okay.
There happens to be one in the home goods section.
Yeah, no, I'll say you can find like a simple hammer. It probably wouldn't be like a sledgehammer, but like a crafting hammer easily enough, like a claw hammer.
Okay, good. Grab that, stick it in there, step back out.
Okay.
Boy, Jeffrey, later.
Can you make a sleight of hand
Oh, I
check for me, please?
Sure.
Oh, she's stealing.
Well, I'm just gonna do it over here because it might do me right.
Don't forget about your
She's
reliable
good.
talent.
33.
A thief? Never.
Jesus.
That was without the reliable talent.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Jeffrey just puts up a
Hell
hand.
yeah.
Whoa. Bye.
Later, Jeffrey.
Thank you for shopping at Quince. Head back
I
over.
love him.
Catch up with everybody else.
Yeah.
The hammer's tucked away, but she's clearly trying to open the bottle.
Okie dokie. High or low?
Hell
Pip?
yeah.
I'm sorry, you said high or low?
I did.
Always high.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Always high.
You crack it open, you take a swig? Do you? I'm asking, but
Yes, please.
Yeah, okay.
I'll sniff it. Take a swig.
yeah, it's I mean, it's old. You can definitely test that. It's flat. It's not great. But other than that, no ill side effects.
It'll do in a pinch. All right, so she's like taking a swig, following
Gotcha.
them in.
Right. Otto, you are met with your friends as they come in, mostly Brune leading them with some sort of collapsed metal contraption.
Hello there. I am determining if I can attach a meat grinder to the front of this vehicle. How are you doing?
I'm unsure how to respond to that particular piece of information, but we found, less up, a tiny warforged.
Otto will blink a couple of times and say, I have questions about your understanding of what a warforged is.
Is this not the Warforge?
You said it looks kind of like a briefcase?
The top of it, yeah, it is currently folded over, but you do clearly see like legs and arms dangling.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like completely like internally encapsulated. I was
That'd
like,
be fucking wild.
yeah. May I please take a closer look?
That was why we were bringing it over. Evidently it was hiding in the garbage and fled after slicing Pip.
It attacked you.
It did not attack me, no. It cut Pip.
I meant the general you. Thank you, though, for the clarification.
I do my best. But it
Has
is
it been... Oh, go ahead, sorry.
It was disabled, I suppose.
I see. And he will check it out, I guess.
I say hands or
Sure.
You are quite tall.
Otto, you see a 3.5 foot black iron warforged. Maybe not too incredibly like rehearsed with what models that the Caneth had, but you easily enough with Brune pointing out the marks that that it is made by House Cannith. That has a model number that is fairly
And
low.
it's
Like,
pauldrons.
yeah, and the self-done pauldrons, pauldrons in quotes. But other than that, you see that it's also injured right now to the point of incapacitation, and is like leaking out pneumatic fluid from the sides, but the leak seems to have ceased at the moment.
Yeah, we'll give that a little bit of a closer investigation, I suppose.
Sure. What are you looking for?
Just to try and figure out about it. Like, what are this thing's capabilities? Could he get any insight into its original purpose? Like, if it has a model number, then it wasn't created haphazardly.
Sure.
Most likely. So.
Give me a quick. Let's call it an investigation check. Not quite.
Investigation.
While he's like looking at it, Bruno's just gonna kind of talk at him. Just
Talk at me.
Yeah, I don't know if you're actually listening or not, but we figure that if it is part of a larger group, then perhaps it could be convinced to tell us where to avoid, so that we may not come into conflict with a larger group of Warforged.
So, two things. Fun fact: if you ever forget your dice, Google now has a full set of dice rollers. Second,
D&D Beyond also has dice.
22.
22.
Nice.
The sort of out of character assessment is very accurate. You hold it by the handle, of which Brune sort of hands it to you. You take its arms and legs and fold it up very much like a briefcase. That would, at closer inspection, if someone was really looking for a weapon, would see it. But it is very much to the point where if you just left this on a lightning rail somewhere and walked away from it, and someone that you needed dead would sit down at that seat, this thing could spring out of what looked like a briefcase and make sure that happened for you. It very much looks like its capabilities with being small. You see that most of its joints are like omnidirectional. So it's quite dexterous and can move around in small spaces. But I mean, the OOC, it is an assassin bot. That is what this was made for. It is made for killing.
Is he able to? Sorry.
No. I was just going to say that was its intended purpose when crafted.
Gotcha. As far as its capabilities, is he able to detect the full range of weaponry? Does it seem to just be those blades that they witnessed already?
That's definitely seems to be the like majority of the firepower. You can't really stick on too many weapons on this thing. I will say that you see two needles, like backwards facing hypodermic needles built into its forearms, that are completely empty. They are now just needles. But that's about it.
Does it have a Dawson?
It does not have a Dawson, no.
Would it be much of a task for Otto to remove said needles and blades?
You could do that. I mean, that'd be a quick tinkering check.
Yeah, let's do that real quick. So he'll probably just like, as he's going with this investigation, be like, oop, that's a weapon. Oop, that's a weapon.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't know my what is tinkering modified by? Intelligence?
Correct.
Or Dex?
Intelligence. Yep.
That will be a 24 then.
24, easily enough. Unbolt the blades from the forearms. Needles, like remove the forearm plate. Needles come out. Done.
I shall look into restoring consciousness and freedom to this thing later. For the meantime, stick the weapons into a bag.
Okay.
Just in case.
Hey, okay.
Would you like to assist me in my current project? And he gestures at probably what is at this juncture mostly blueprints with like the vaguest like bits of framework beginning to be laid out. If even that much.
Yeah, I would say at this point your sketching and your planning phase, like it's over. Like if you have your 3 options, you guys have decided out of character, a quick vote. In character, tank bus is the option, right?
Yeah.
So
Start layout like here's the struts or whatever.
I will say, Shining Vanguard, that this process is not going to be a short process. You're spending your day doing this.
Okay.
With all of you helping and your newfound friends helping, this is an all-day process. You're going to be staying the night in the city, the town.
At some juncture, since this is an all-day thing, and I'm not sure how much of this is going to get hand-waved, I believe Otto spoke to Archium about talking to Xandros, because Otto did not do well on his insight check when he spoke to Xandros, and believing that it was a suppressed memory and that Xandros does not know the source of his injury, he had asked Artyom, could you look into this and maybe help dig up the memory so we can figure out the source of that injury? And he would pursue that like maybe on like a lunch break or something like, Artyom, have you had time to pursue that discussion with Xandros on the nature of his injury? Or origin of his injury, rather.
I feel like, didn't they say that they weren't quite sure that they crashed and then they had some patches in their memory?
Yeah, Xandros said he couldn't remember, and yeah.
I don't think he remembers what exactly happened to him, but I can try the press to see if he's telling the truth or not.
I do not believe he is deceiving us. I was hoping that with your psychic powers you could potentially awaken that memory, or perhaps find it in some way. I am not fully clear on how your abilities work.
I generally try not to go rooting around in other people's heads.
With permission, of course. Just a suggestion.
Even then, it would probably take an exertion of magic that might not be the best idea out here. Also, I don't have detect thoughts or anything like that.
I was purely an in-character, like, this guy is psychic. Maybe talk to him about memory.
Right. Maybe we can find some more booze or something out here. Get a little drunk. You might lubricate some memories from falling out of his ear.
In more standard circumstances, I would dissuade the use of alcohol by those deeply injured. However, these are not standard circumstances, so do as you will.
Yeah, not remotely. I don't know. We got a lot of work to do.
Clink, 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 clink.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess later on, if it seems like he's taking a break, I'll try to go take a break with him and see if I can't prod if he's remembered anything else about the crash and what came directly after it.
Okay. Sure. Yeah, we'll say it like around noon, which isn't terribly long after you guys landed here. You guys have started on this pretty fast because you guys got here just before noon. So a couple of hours later, we'll say around 2 p.m. or so. Xandros is just kind of taking a quick like water break, trying to reserve whatever little water he has in a canteen on his hip. Walk up to him. Hello.
Hey, what's up, buddy? It's thing's gonna be kind of a beast.
Looks like it, but we were looking around, and he is actually outside in like a backyard where you see more like farming equipment that's been sitting outside. So a lot of it's gone to just the elements over the years being out in the wasteland or the Mournland. But he has found some useful stuff out here, so he's just kind of scavenging with the rest of the folks that you picked up. Yeah, hopefully we are being of some help. Doesn't feel like much, but...
Well, I mean, I'm a druid that can't do magic, so he'll... I'm just kind of looking the same as you. in any case, so do you know anything about what might have caused your airship to go down? I know you said you might have been attacked by something.
No, I don't remember much of the night we went down at all. I was told that there was some sort of firestorm and it took us down, but I don't remember the storm. I don't remember crashing.
Okay.
I just remember being on the airship sailing through. We were all on edge. That's it.
Do you maybe remember if you had to guesstimate how many days you've been out here?
Since the crash? Or when we crashed?
Yeah, you know, since the crash.
Stopped counting.
Okay.
Days aren't so important when you're feels like you're on the run.
No,
Always.
no, yeah, I understand. I've been on the run a couple of times. Okay, well, you know, I was just trying to, being completely honest, trying to figure out if maybe we could understand how you got that injury.
Sort of
Does it
reaches
really-
his hand back and I don't know.
Yeah.
Part of me worries that if I deserved it or not, but as far as I know, I don't think I did.
What do you mean deserved it?
I can't remember anything before it, so if I did something to deserve it, that's almost worse.
Do you feel like you might have been doing things after the crash and just sort of woke up after your injuries? Unable to remember things?
Why couldn't
Different shirt, maybe different pants, you know, more dirty than normal, perhaps. Anything like that?
Not necessarily. Not that I was missing time of any sort. The only time that I think that I'm missing is before whatever crash happened, and then how much ever time passed to that until I woke up. And that's all. Lenora, Gabriel, and a few others at that point in time scavenging, getting what they could together.
Right. And they were all fine when you came into the crash,
Walking around just as I am.
but they were already injured the same as you are.
Each in their
Okay.
own way, yes.
Right. No, yes, of course. I know they don't have the same spinal thing. All right. Yeah, I want to sense both of this dude.
Sure. We left sense motive back in 3.5, but you can absolutely
I'm sorry,
insight check
I
him.
will insight him. That's an 18 total.
Yeah, what are you trying to gather?
I'm trying to see if he is full of it or not.
Full of it. If he's lying to you about
Yeah.
just everything in general.
Right. If he is holding anything back or trying to skirt thing one way, you're like, did they have all those injuries? Yeah, or something like that.
Right. I mean, it looks like, as you're sort of looking over his face as he's answering these questions, it looks like he's searching for answers as you're asking him, which it might pique your, like, maybe I need to ask more, or it might not, because that's going to be from two things. He's either searching for answers because he's making them up as he's going along, or he's searching for answers because he really doesn't know. But you see, as you're asking questions, he's just sort of shaking his head, looking like trying to look back in his memory, but that's about it.
Okay. But I mean, when you, I guess the last thing you remember whenever, you know, you were still on the airship and then you just woke up in the wreckage of the airship, right?
Right.
The other two were already awake.
Yes.
Everybody else was dead.
Not everybody else, no. There were a couple of others that were still alive.
And what happened to them?
The Mournland.
Okay. So they didn't seem to have their injuries kind of put on pause, or you just mean they got like maybe eaten by something?
Yes. To the second one.
It's a rough place for sure. So how far did the airship travel through the Mournlands before you think, or I guess, you know, as deep as you remember before everything went terrible?
We were traveling slow. Looking over the cities, gathering some information, looking for movement of sorts. So we stopped over Elizard. I would guess probably... I think at that point we had been sailing for 9 days. 12 days.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's this place and its time and then everything's just kind of
Foggy.
I'm not sure what's real anymore.
I can fully understand that. I thought I was a different person when I came in here. I thought I was some dude named Frank, and I was getting drunk at the bar. Like talking to ghosts.
I hope that's not what's happening to me now.
Well, tell me something about yourself from before.
My name is Enthros. I am from Kyrie, small farming town to the southeast. I was visiting family in Breland when we lost our home. My father, mother are with me as well. They're older now, but they weren't. They were with me. Thank the gods.
Yeah. So, I mean, did you guys fly over any areas you were familiar with?
Familiar-ish. A lot of us are not professionals. New Kyrie doesn't. We're down on our luck.
Right, but you remember old Kyrie.
Yeah, the parts I was from.
Yeah. But you couldn't go to those parts?
I could. It's not where we were sent.
Oh, okay. I get you.
It's not a homecoming mission. We were looking for the cause of this.
I understand. Do you feel like anything might have woken you up whenever you first awoke after the crash? Maybe like a sound or something like that?
I don't remember any specific sound. Things were blurry. The fires had gone out. All that was left was a charred hull. And when I opened my eyes, I saw the rest scavenging for what they could out of the cargo.
Do any of the three of them appear to be burnt at all?
That's a good question. You gonna go look over Venora and Gabriel at this point?
Oh, I mean, just kind of like from seeing them over the past day or two.
Yeah, I mean, from what you've seen from Otto doing the examination stuff, nothing too severe. Like maybe some second-degree burns here or there, but it is compared to their other injuries minor.
Right.
But it does seem to corroborate that there was some type of fire.
All right. Well, thanks for talking with me about it. Just trying to make sure, it's a dangerous place. If there's something out there messing with people's memories and stabbing them in the back of the spine, I'd definitely like to know about it. But you do understand that injury didn't happen from the crash. You know that, right?
I am aware, yes.
Okay.
I don't know what I can do about it. I've just been clawing to get out of here.
No, you're not doing anything wrong. Just trying to help.
Thank you.
We're
for
all
that.
in it together.
I hope so.
That's what the Shining Vanguard does.
The what?
The Shining Vanguard.
Okay.
That's our group, is the Shining Vanguard. Or I'd say that we're mercenaries, but we've pretty much not really completed any job but one. We haven't. We're just trying to save the world, pretty much.
Otto doesn't know why, but he feels impulse to like strike a pose and glitter shinily.
That's very noble of you.
Artyom, for as weird of the conversation that he's had with this guy, he, for maybe like the first time ever, decides maybe now is not the best time to explain being punted through time to save the world by
I think Artyom pretty easily sees that if what's the name of the background, the haunted one, where you can just look into someone's eyes. Yeah, clearly, if he didn't have it before they crash, he's got it now.
Right.
As you can see that this guy is troubled.
Troubled, yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'll let the silence, I guess, go in or scavenging about.
Yeah, as you sort of get up, wrapping up your lunch, what he says, "Thank you for talking to me. It's been just a bunch of survival conversations so far and trying to figure out which way we can go. So thank you."
Hey, always around to chat. Just not too loud.
Just puts his fingers over his lips. So, the work proceeds. Unless there's anything anybody else wants to do. You guys, we see a montage of the Shining Vanguard strapping on wheels and batteries and platings, making I wish I had some like rock music really quickly, just like some 80s rock to go along with it to show this montage.
Perfect.
So we have the Shining Vanguard inside, sort of working on these items. Bruin giving his, grabbing the pieces that he's marked with paint.
And I got my fire rune now, so I have expertise with tools.
Nice. So
Hell yeah.
helping out Otto put some more of the complicated parts together for this beast.
So I wanted to bring something up in case it would make a difference in either the speed, the stability, the stats, anything like that. Otto does have access to the fabricate spell now, so he could create like more specialized parts, or maybe like create more thorough welds and such like that.
If you want to cast that spell, you are more than welcome to. Just let me know.
Gotcha. As I pull up my list, I'm pretty sure it's
As I am
fourth
your
level spell.
friend, as well as your DM, I will friendly remind you of the wild magic chart that will be in effect.
Oh yeah, that's right. I completely forgot about that. If he finds it necessary for the completion.
I don't think so. I think between your brains, your know-how, Brune helping out, Crowley's arcano knowledge, Pip cheering from the sidelines with her ale. I kid. This is gonna be a whole team effort. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Even if you're just like you might not be able to put the transmission together, but you are absolutely having to like grab tools and throw on plates on the side and stuff like that. This is all hands on deck in order to get this done before like nightfall, where you cannot work anymore.
Using that shocking grasp as like an arc welder.
Right.
Pip over there on the side. Thank you, Pip. I appreciate your enthusiasm. It is inspiring.
Inspiring.
We have to paint it red to make it go faster. Put some flames on the sides. I'm just, yeah, man. That's no.
White and gold.
That does not make it go faster.
We are the shining vanguard.
We're gonna drive along going, I'm a tank, 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 I'm a tank.
Shining Vanguard 40K.
It's getting a little bit later in the afternoon, 5-6 p.m. as you're done with your break, you're done with your talk. You guys are still mounting on plates and still crafting up the tank bus, as it were. From outside, you hear a woman's scream in the back of the building.
Of the building we're in?
Correct.
Oh,
What?
fuck that jetpack. Are all of our three stooges all accounted for? Or are we missing
The only
Venora?
one in the building is Venora.
Okay.
We have eyes on her?
Yeah, the only one in the building is Venora. Venora hears it along with you and turns
Okay.
around and looks outside. That sounded like Gabriel. She gets up and she runs outside.
Yeah.
Otto will also
Go in.
immediately run.
Yeah, I just
We run.
Okay.
do not let
Good
yourself
run,
be
eh?
seen if there's a creature. Fuck. Shit, they're gone.
Uh,
Follow. Yeah.
Venora doesn't seem to care. Runs outside, hitting the door wide open, making like as the door hits. You following behind her. Venora walks up behind Gabriel, who is currently covering their mouth and like eyes wide as Xandros is impaled on a large piece of farming equipment, what looks like a tiller piece that's made for large farms. His through his head and his chest are large blades, and he is unmoving.
Fucking,
Fuck?
I'm going and pushing Venora and Gabriel back away from whatever this is. Are these blades being wielded by something?
They are on the barrel of like a large piece of farm equipment. They are blades of like a tiller, a large piece of farm equipment, and he has found himself impaled on them.
Is it
He's-
moving?
He survived an airship crash and got killed by a John Deere.
Correct.
Well, I assume being impaled that this isn't anything he could have done himself.
This piece of farm equipment wasn't here earlier, right?
No, there's this
Yeah, there's
yard
farming
back here
equipment
is
all over the
farm.
place.
Yeah, there's farm
Oh,
equipment all back
oh.
here. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Does
Fucking-
it look like he jumped on
It's
it?
I
a
was-
ghost tractor. Ooh.
No, we talked about a lot of this equipment was a fucking not sentient, it was an automaton. I don't know why I was thinking we were out in the street and then a fucking tractor drove up and
This
just like,
is in the back of the building. He is impaled on the blades of this tilling machine.
Is it quick like question for context? Are they like upward tilted? Like, does it look like he unalived himself, or does it look like the John Deere attacked him and he got impaled? Is it like moving, or?
The position of his body is on top of it.
So someone slammed him down then. It looks
Or-
like a murder, not a suicide. Investigation check.
Are you just gonna go up and start looking at the body?
Hell yeah!
Sure.
While they're doing
Nothing's
that,
moving,
Pip's gonna
right?
like dart around to see if she can see anybody like in running the machinery or anything or behind it anyway.
You sneak around. Give me a perception check. Your investigation check. Venora's just like trying to pull Gabriel's hands away from her mouth, saying, "What happened? What happened?" What are the rest of
21.
you doing? All right, I'll get back to
Auto.
you in just a second.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No. I was just saying I'll get back to the checks in just a second. Auto's doing what?
Oh, true sight.
True sight.
Bam.
Hell yeah.
Give me a perception check.
I reached for my dice that I do not have.
Was that? How does that work?
Oh shit. Okay.
It's not. It's a constant magic. It's not being cast.
Okay.
Yeah. 26.
I was just making sure. Like, are those actual goggles a true sight, or is he like?
It's no. It
Does he
isn't.
have?
It's a gem of true
Is
sight.
he, okay, gotcha.
So.
Yep. Gotcha.
26.
Okay. Anybody else doing anything?
I'm keeping close to Venora and Gabriel to make sure they are not like if there is a hostile entity, they are the most vulnerable. So I'm sticking by them and listening and hoping Venora gets something out of Gabriel.
Gotcha.
Koshik is approaching our John Deere lanced friend,
Okay.
and checking to see if there's any sign of life still in them.
Medicine
Period.
check.
Okay. Oh, all right.
Azure, Crowley, anything? Pip, anything?
Yeah, Pip's just doing that.
Oh, yeah,
Looking
that's all right.
around.
You're going
Yeah.
around. That's right.
19.
Yes, sir.
All right. I'll go with the checks, then I'll go over to Brune. An investigation check from what you can see without touching anything at this very moment. Artyom, you see that he is currently keep scrolling back and forth.
And I want to just clarify that I am just giving bardic inspiration to everyone, so I'm kind of just moving from person to person and being like, "Hey, doing a good job, neighbor."
You gonna start using some bardic inspirations? Sure. What'd you say your roll was, Artyom?
21.
21.
Unless I'm bardically inspired.
You're bardically inspired.
There you go.
29.
29, very nice. Sort of investigating what you can see. Sandros is face up on these blades. You look up. The piece of farm equipment that this is attached to is probably 25 feet tall. That you're sort of looking up and you're like, he was either pushed or he fell from that distance. Which one you can't really tell unless you start touching and moving things, which you absolutely can do. You just got to let me know.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna be trying. So he's like way up in the air then.
Yeah. No. You see this like from a distance. You have to like climb up on the side because the barrel itself is about like 7 to like 9 feet tall. So you're like looking up on the side. About what you can see just on the ground right next to it are his feet. He's like on the top of this barrel of the cylinder.
Okay.
Yeah. Pip, you go around. You gave me a perception check, which was
24.
24. Very nice. With the 24, you go around. You look around, and you don't see anything. Don't hear anything. It's very quiet. But you smell just slightly the scent of sulfur.
Can I tell where it's coming from? Like,
It's just in this area. It's not like
Just-
a constant flow. It is already dissipating from this area.
sulfur sounds bad. I'm a newbie. I don't know what that means, but
Give me a religion
Stacy
check.
doesn't. A religion check? Okay.
Mhm.
Oh. 18.
18. Pip would know that smell of sulfur in odd circumstances can typically mean the intervention of fiendish types, devils or demons.
So Pip's gonna back up quietly.
Yeah.
To get back to the group to let them know.
Yeah.
What?
Otto, I almost called you Milo, but I saved it. Otto, you flip the true seeing down. There's, for the first time, probably, Otto sees the Mournlands as it is, but there are no ghosts around you that are attempting to lure you in. There's nothing. It's just you around here. Just your group. You don't see anything invisible lurking in the shadows, anything.
After the first quick glance, just a quick... We are alone. For the
Pashik,
moment.
you crawl up beside RTM. You feel for a pulse. You helped Otto with it before. You know that they had, strangely, a pulse regardless of their conditions. There's nothing. He's already going cold. Brune. Gabriel is shaking. Nora's like, what happened? Gabriel, he fell. He was up there. He was looking around for more parts. I think he was looking for the entry for, I don't know. He was just looking around, and then he fell.
I would like the insight. Like I'm mostly listening. I want to insight Gabriel to make sure, see if too afraid or any weirdness. Like if there's any
guilty.
lie, yeah, any lie to what is being said.
Give me an insight check.
Which I do have advantage on. And for shits and giggles, D12. So that was 23 total.
23. Very nice. Everybody take off your earbuds and or headphones until I give you a thumbs up.
I'm assuming that does not include me.
No, it doesn't. Yes, you as well. I'm just talking to the stream now. No.
Okay. I mean, you could be. I don't know, man. You said everyone.
Brune, with an insight check of 23. You're not a lie detector. But looking over Gabriel as she's saying this, she's scared. Incredibly so. Now, it could be the fear that something got to Xandros. It could be the fact that she just saw one of her friends die. But what you get with your insight check, as she's saying that he fell, is that she's just scared. So you get to press on that as however you see fit.
And that fear is not direct, doesn't seem to be direct. She's just afraid. Okay. Okay. Yeah, slow but surely. Some of them are seeing them. Some people are seeing it.
Oh well. I'll miss the
There
session.
we go. Slow but surely. Let's go. We're getting folks.
All right. So,
Ayo.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
I'm just gonna kind of cut in a little bit when Gabriel's saying this, and just, and you see nothing else in this yard, nothing else living, moving, animate at all.
I didn't see anything. He let out a short scream and he just fell.
Please stand back. I am going to prepare an investigation, magically speaking.
Are you sure that's a good idea? But you said he cried out, so it wasn't. He wasn't expecting it, so he slipped or
He
pushed.
screamed before he fell or as he was falling?
I don't know. It all happened so fast. I don't know.
Pippa, like, put her hand out, like, she flipped back around and put her hand out. I smell sulfur. There's fiends involved.
What would...
Before you start casting magic.
What would Otto know about the relationship between the smell of sulfur and fiendish magic?
You can give me a religion check if you want to go into any more depth than they're typically related. I don't know what you would be looking for there with a religion check.
No! Okay, Milo is trained in religion, Otto is not. That is only an 11.
Gotcha. Yeah, within 11, I mean, not Milo's forte. He spent like one class in his Fiends and Devils class at Sharn University. It was an elective.
That being said, he'll continue with the... It is low-grade magic, detection variety, so the risk should be low. But I still would prefer if you would keep your distance. And he will move over closer to the scene of the death and begin ritually casting Detect Magic at first level.
Okay.
And Pip's going to be eyeballing Gabriel.
Sure. You trying to intimidate her or... I'm sorry. Them?
Yeah.
Or
yeah,
Gabriel?
Absolutely.
Sure. Roll an intimidation check for me. If you could please roll a D100 for me there, Otto.
Woo!
Intimidation was 19.
Very nice. I'll give them perception check. You're staring Gabriel down. Her hand, their hands are shaking, and what? Why are you looking at me like this? I didn't do anything. I wouldn't do anything like this. Well, no, to tell them.
Sounds like what a fiend would say.
Fiend. What?
That's what a murderer would say, wouldn't they?
This is also what someone who did not murder someone would say. I didn't do this. And she just starts like whispering to Venora. What's that D100 roll there, Otto?
It was a 21.
21.
That's pretty good.
Is it?
I don't know.
That's the joy of this, is I have no idea if high or low is good or bad.
It alternates. One is
I
bad,
love-
2 is good.
I
Or
love
neither.
what just happened.
It's just-
Ian said, "That's pretty good." Cody said, "Is it?" And Ian said, "I don't know."
That's pretty good.
Need you to please make me a Constitution saving throw.
Ayo. I'm good at those.
He's gonna get turned into dust.
Sometimes I'm good at those.
I would suggest using a flash of genius if you got it.
Yeah, I'm checking to see if I got one left.
You leak a little bit, little bit of oil just down your pant leg.
What else
that
is
con
so-
save?
no.
That
Oh,
was a Warforged shark themselves.
Uh-oh.
That's what
I guess
happens.
petrification. Damn, got him.
Fail!
Auto
Oh,
blue
shit.
screens.
You got him.
What a... Sorry, screenshot real quick while we...
Get on
Already
it, Ken.
got it.
That's a reaction image right there, baby.
And
Stay
it's like,
winning.
Oh,
There he
he's back.
is.
Oh, he's back.
all right.
Auto blue screen.
Didn't hear any of what I said.
Nope.
What? No, you blue screened on a Nice face.
That's a lie.
I'm sure you'll see it later. I'm sure Ken will have it in
you're
chat
about
here
to.
shortly.
Oh, that is horrifying. Y'all are all still frozen in Skype for me. Am I frozen, or can y'all hear and see
No,
me?
I can hear and
You're
see
fine.
you. You're good.
Can't
Yeah.
see you.
Okay,
You're good.
cool. I didn't realize that a +9. I will not be using a Flash of Genius. That is an 18.
18. What's your spell save DC?
Spell save DC is spells. Also 18.
So you just make it. Otto, as you attempt to, or as you're casting detect magic, some interference with the Mournlands and your spell starts sending your synaptic nerves firing and like almost like white noise filling your auditory sensors in your mind, and you're almost completely unable to cast the spell, but you complete the detect magic spell. And let me look up the specifics of that as I do. Is there anything anybody else would like to do while I do this?
Big sniff. Do I smell sulfur anywhere right nearby?
With Pip pointing it out, it is faint and getting fainter by the moment.
Getting fainter. Okay, so Gabriel does not smell like sulfur.
No.
Good.
Monkey barring up to where homie slipped or was pushed. I'm just, I guess, continuing that investigation check to see if there's like anything damp up there, or if it's, you know, like moist, foggy air or anything like that is causing it to be a slippery surface. To see,
Gotcha. Okay, that's what that. I needed the reason behind it. I needed the why, because you were looking for moist, and I didn't know why. But I got you. We're on the same page now. So you head up there. Give me another investigation check.
Go. Okay.
Visible creature hears magic.
17.
17. Okay. With detect magic, Otto, it's interesting. One, all of your friends light up with the magical items that they have on them. Two, the Mournlands through this filter is ever changing and broken in ways. As you're sort of like looking through this lens of detect magic in this area around you, it is warping and changing constantly. It is probably Otto putting together like the magical equations of, oh, this is why our spells are going fucking crazy. It's because the laws of magic are literally changing while we're standing here. But other than that, the scene of the issue at hand, you don't notice anything.
So no residues on the subject of the investigation.
You're looking over him. Doesn't look like there were any spells cast on him. No residual spell magic that were used on him or anything. No.
He'll take a few minutes to just check the area where he presumably was.
I think that's what RTM's doing right now. So you could easily fly up there and help him with that investigation check. So roll with advantage, RTM.
Yeah, with the focus being on magical detection. Check Gabriel, check the machine. Just try and not check Gabriel as like a subject of suspicion, as that's not where his head's at, just to see if maybe she was also influenced, or maybe like whatever residue of any spells cast maybe like, you know, like fallout, I guess,
right,
etc.
Still 17.
Still 17. Okay. With a 17, with a 17, you see that in the dust on top of this piece of equipment, you see Xandros's footsteps where he was moving around on top of here. It looks like he was trying to find a way, like the door's jammed and he was trying to find a way inside of it. With a 17, you don't see much else though. You see that Xandros's boot prints and you don't see anything else. You look over Gabriel. You look over the area with detect magic. There's nothing.
Nothing on detect magic, nothing on true seeing. I am unable to find anything magically out of the ordinary.
Whatever did this left already. And did not depart magically. It left physically.
Additionally, it did not leave behind any magical residue that could be picked up from cast spells or utilized magical items.
So it's still here and we need to find it.
Or it left on its feet. Or with wings. It left by means physical, and it did the deed by means physical.
Assuming that this was not a suicide. This is a horrifying situation, and it is not uncommon to succumb to such horrors. I am deeply saddened in either case. I think for now we should focus on retrieving the body and giving him proper last rites. Kaushik, do you think you could do the honors?
Yes, but... Otto, can I speak to you? Privately?
Of course. Is all well, Aunt Kaushik?
And I am going to, motion or guide whatever Otto to the side to speak with him privately, where hopefully most, if not every person, aka the zombies, are out of earshot. And I'm going to say, I know that... I hope you guys can hear me. Otto, I know that magic is a very big risk, and casting is a big risk here, but do you think it'd be worth the risk for maybe Crowley to try to speak to him, to his corpse?
I have been considering that. It is good to know that the higher the tier of magic utilized, the higher the risk for both backlash and likelihood. I believe that would be up to Crowley and his belief in his own capability. I will support his decisions entirely.
Do you think that this is something that I should present to everyone, or just Crowley?
I believe that we shall speak to Crowley. There is no reason to get anyone's hopes up if he does not believe he is up to the task. This is a risky endeavor for himself. I cannot ask him to put himself at such risk on our behalf.
Fair. Crowley?
While you speak to him, I shall retrieve the body so that it can be treated with respect.
Right, thank you. Crowley, I have a question that I think you might be able to answer, if you wouldn't mind. And motions him over.
Crowley slides on over.
Crowley, do you think that it'd be worth the risk to try to speak to his corpse? Try to figure out what happened? Otto says that the higher the level of power that you exude, the more likely it is that something terrible will happen, but if it's low level of power, then it might not trigger anything.
That's very true, but I do give a warning. If you remember, once before when we tried to do this in a place where magic was very unstable, all we succeeded in doing was summoning another spirit that refused to answer the questions. That is a very likely possibility here in the Mournlands with so many spirits vying for control.
That's fair, I guess. Do you think this is an issue that is important enough to take that risk, or do you think that it's just something that we should let go until someone else maybe gets picked off? I understand that it wasn't one of us, but it could be next.
I'm willing to do this if everyone is so concerned. I just give you the warning. We could attract something worse. It's unlikely. Potentially.
It's completely up to you. As even Otto said, we can't ask you to make a huge sacrifice or take a huge risk in our account, but it's your choice.
No, you just did. It's okay.
No.
I was gonna roll up this.
Oh!
Gotta wash your hands.
Wash the hands.
Sanitize.
Sterilize. Let's get this going.
Glove up.
Okay, what are you doing?
I'm ready.
We can wait till Otto gets the body down off of the machinery.
Once Otto does retrieve the body, lay him out respectively, respectfully make sure, some whatever cantrips he has at his disposal, medical knowledge, make it look kind of not grotesque.
Sure.
We'll approach Crowley. Uncle Crowley, did you determine whether or not you would be attempting the magical endeavor?
Yes, Koshik asked me, so we're going to attempt it.
I will provide whatever support, magically speaking, that I can. Read that as, if you have to roll a save, he will give you a flash of genius.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, is the bus? Let me just line the bus up with Koshik real quick.
The woman who brought my daughter back from the dead asked me to do something, so it's happening.
Oh no, this is my fault again.
Everything is perpetually Kaushik's fault.
Everybody say boo,
Kari knew what they were
Kosh.
doing. He's like, we'll get Koshik to ask him. It'll be okay.
Follow the threads back to Kaushik every time.
What questions do we wish to ask if this is successful, Otto?
I believe the first and foremost question should be, was this fatality self-inflicted? Or an accident?
You gotta word it better than that.
As long as you don't pause. It's not two questions if you don't pause.
Who did this? Who did this to you?
Word that question however you will. You are quite the wordsmith. I am not.
No, don't sell yourself short.
Why say many word when a few word do trick?
Oh wait, let me make Koshik feel better. One moment. Don't sell yourself short, Milo. There you go, guys.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Milo?
What a
Exactly.
fucking hero.
Exactly.
That was the joke.
Who's Bolo?
I think the first question should be, what the hell happened here?
Hey, bud, what happened?
Wait, what the hell? Where'd cowboy boots go?
You were muted if you were talking. There, Crowley.
I was like thinking to myself for a second, but I'll ask him, was it self-inflicted or an accident? It'll depend on the first question. First answer, I'll work from there. Is there anything else you really want to know?
Obviously, if it was done by someone else, who?
I believe that would be a logical second question. If it was not self-inflicted or an accident, then the third logical conclusion would be to ask who caused the injury and subsequent fatality.
Well, I'm simply concerned I'll have to focus on the spell here in the Mornlands, but let's...
Perhaps a better wording could be, who, if anyone, was responsible for this fatality? Or your fatality, if we are speaking to him directly.
Who was the killer and why is it Milo? Understood.
Wow! What?
If you'll ask him, who was the person that killed you, he could just say, I don't know, because he might not know.
It's very true. We could ask him what he remembers up to that point.
If he does or does not remember, what the nature of the action that caused him to fall could be a good second question. Was it a push? A pull? Was it a blast? Many different actions could cause him to fall, and perhaps knowing the nature of that would add clarity.
What caused you to become impaled on this machine?
That is excellent. Thank you, Uncle Artyom. You are intelligent.
Thank you.
That's
Sorry.
the first time he's ever heard that.
Why is Otto buttering everybody up so
Kaushik
much?
Slyly whispers.
Otto has always loved his family. Thank you very much.
Otto wants something. That's all I'm saying. He's handing out a lot of compliments today.
Look, Otto says, I want to see the chaos be rolled with magic.
Well,
You're gonna cast
We've
Speak
got
with
a-
Dead?
yeah, we've got a potential barking mosquito in the room, but we're gonna
Everybody,
try.
everybody, give him space. Give the man
Give
space.
some space.
Are y'all
30
backing
You
up?
foot.
just
rise up.
give him space due to virtue of wild magic. He's like, everybody give this man fire.
That's what I'm saying. Everybody, back up. About approximately 20 feet away from Crowley.
At what level are you casting Speak with Dead?
Do it at 8.
Yeah, yo, can I cast it at 8? What's going on?
Please don't.
I'll give you more questions.
That lets you speak to their
You better-
ancestors.
Hey, it's not. If we find out the answers that we seek in the first couple of questions, it might not be a bad idea to see if his spirit maybe remembers more than his body did in life. Ask him if he remembers anything about whenever the airship went down, or what happened to him, or if he's killed any other people while he's been in the Mornland.
Ah, yes. Wait. Killed any other people? Do you doubt the integrity of our traveling companions, Uncle Artyom?
I doubt the integrity of everyone that's not in the Shining Vanguard.
Auto blue screens again.
Wait a minute. I'm not Shining Vanguard. Hold on a
Milo
second.
remembers this.
This guy's a
Gonna keep saying
fucking
it.
mascot for the Shining Vanguard.
I'm thinking about me. Bruin's over there like, wait a minute.
All right, well, you know
Part of
what?
this group.
It's enough drama. Let's go ahead and cast this at the regular 3rd level and see what happens.
Is it
But
third level?
DM did ask. I use it as a cantrip.
Crowley just summons a familiar as he's casting this spell.
Yeah. I'll summon up a pug real quick.
If I can, please get a D100 roll from you there, Crowley.
Yeah, let's go.
I'm sorry, the pug's moving. So 1 second.
So if someone gives him guidance, can he add 1d4 to his D100?
No.
But you have to roll a D100 first. We've been playing too much
I roll
Baldur's
an
Gate. We're like
85.
guidance on everything.
85. Wonderful.
Oh shit. Wonderful.
I was gonna ask which one's better, higher or lower. I was like, I don't care. I'm gonna roll high. 85.
Okay. And this spell is 3rd level, correct?
It is indeed.
Oh, I don't like that.
Okay.
Summon the tornadoes.
As
No,
you're
don't do that.
calling on these spirits, Crowley, attempting to summoning up life, or a semblance of life to fill this corpse once more, some of the spirits whisper in your ear, and they say they're here to help. As you do. We can help someone. We can help. We can help. I can help someone. I can help. I can help. I can help. Tell me who to help. Tell me who to help. Tell us who to help. Tell us, 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 tell us.
Oh. I'm sorry, man. I'm having
Okay.
flashbacks to The Exorcist. Like I was like, there are no multiple demons. There's only one.
What do you say?
This body before me. I need to know the answers.
We cannot help what is already dead. We cannot help what is already left. Let us help. We can help. I can help. We can help. Tell
Can you
us who to
show
help.
me who killed this one?
You. Help you.
Yes.
Spirits sort of flood around you and just into your form. You gain a +1 to attack rolls, damage rolls, and your AC for a minute.
I punched the body.
No, Crowley.
Wake up.
Jesus Christ.
So there you go.
Well, shit, we're gonna risk it for the biscuit. We're gonna try again.
You've cast the spell as you summon up, and this semblance of life fills this Xandros' body once more. What do you do? Oh yeah, Fucking the boulders get green light pours out of his eyes and mouth.
Crowley does like the green light, dude. It's all good. I'm glad they did that.
And you hear a narrator's voice says, "This creature does not want to speak to the one that slayed it."
Fuck you!
What do you say, Crowley?
Did you... 1 second, sorry. Did you do this? Did you kill yourself?
Is that your first one?
Yeah, sure. We'll go with that.
And is it 5 or 3? I'm holding up 5 fingers.
It's 5.
Like I know it's 5. I thought so.
Cool. Jumping bug.
No.
Crowley, it was what caused you to be impaled on the spike spin thing?
Gravity.
Yo, fuck. Don't ask that one. He's right.
Who? If it was not himself.
Alright, guys, calm down. I was talking to like 50 guys earlier.
We're doing this from 20 feet away. We're like, ask him this question. What'd he say?
What killed you? Who killed you, excuse me?
What or who killed you? I don't know. I did not see. I just felt cold.
You know, I want to pull a power move. I'm going to walk away from him and back over to the others. Just leave him on idle for a second.
You forgot your last questions. Sure. No, you go back over
That's
to the
fucked
party.
up. Just leave him here for the rest of the time.
You know, I haven't cast a spell in a long time, you know. Might as well enjoy it. I'm going to go over to the others.
Okay.
What were the results of your inquiry, Uncle Crowley?
It wasn't a suicidal, and he doesn't remember who did it. He just says he felt a cold sensation and he was dead.
He does not remember if he was pushed or pulled, or if some other force caused him to fall.
Well, I'm not saying he doesn't know if it was an individual or what. I will ask him if he felt pushed or pulled, but he just says he felt a coldness and he was dead. It was almost immediate from his description, but I can ask for specifics.
Could you ask him to provide a full sensory explanation of the moments leading up to his death?
First person description. What's happening? Date, time. Like I'm talking to ChatGPT, I understand.
A question such as that would cover auditory, visual, olfactory, and other senses that he may have experienced prior to his demise.
Can you give me a play-by-play, second by second of your death? No.
Well,
Next
talking with
question.
John Madden. All right. Is there anything else you'd like to know? Should that also not prove fruitful? We have 3 questions left.
If we're not going to ask any more questions about him dying, since he doesn't seem to know anything about some coldness that
Which
affected him.
The impalement.
You could ask if he observed anything odd
Perhaps
around the yard before his death.
Perhaps reserve at least one question to ask if he remembers anything about his original injury.
Very well.
What caused the ship to crash? Or maybe how did you sustain your neck injury? Or did you kill any other members of your crew? Or any of those? You pick. I defer to your judgment.
Right. So what I'm getting here, can you describe everything that happened up to your death? And then last question, how did you get your neck injury? There was a third question that someone said that was really good, actually.
Anything weird in the yard?
Oh,
Yeah,
yes, anything
if
weird
he
beyond,
saw anything weird going on before he died.
It's the Mournland. Everything going on is weird.
Yeah, I know. Weirder than you.
Shut up, Kent!
I'm gonna walk back before Ken manifests anything.
I saw that Jor's big ass head going through the bushes.
I was inside.
All
Were
right.
you?
Yeah.
Can you describe the moments that led up to your death, such as if you felt a pulling sensation or anything of the sort?
Something smelled bad. Then cold. And despair. And then pushed.
I see. That actually kind of takes care of two questions in a way. Can you...
Devil time, come on. Do.
I'm looking over at Brew from across the way. Could you tell me how you got that neck injury?
No.
Ooh, spicy. You described how you felt up to the point of your death. Can you tell me if you saw anything strange before you died just now?
Nothing seen. Just felt. Icy, cold, push.
Rest well, my friend.
The energy leaves his body. And that's where we're going to go on break. So, sorry guys, I'm coughing. Sorry for coughing into the mic. We're going to go on break. You should do the same. Take care of yourself. Leave your stream right there. Pull it right up. If you haven't, follow. Do that.
Yeah.
If you're feeling in your heart of hearts, subscribe. That helps us out.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
before I get impaled by a tractor, we're going to go on a break. Don't go anywhere.
What?
Sorry.
Through the side of the building.
I'm struggling. Go donate to Extra Life while we're on break. We'll be back in like 10. If I can.
We'll be back.
Much love. Don't go anywhere. And hello, everybody. We're back. Most of us are back. We are picking right back up where we left off. The Shining Vanguard, deep within the Mournlands themselves. Shining Vanguard was has a lot going on right now. They were making a tank bus to get them across the Mournlands more safely to the east. In doing so, while Otto was drafting up the plans, our friends here have found an assassin warforged of some sort. They have incapacitated it for the time being. While they were working on said tank bus, they heard a scream from outside, behind where the three folks that they had found, the previous sailors on the Wanderer, where they found their recent friend Xandros, who had suffered a stab wound to the back of the neck, but was still living somehow. Was not fortunate twice in a row. He found him dead, impaled on a piece of farm equipment. After Crowley cast Speak with Dead to see what might, in a quick investigation from our party, Xandros has revealed that he was in fact pushed, and that he felt cold and despair right beforehand. Pip is, after looking around, noticed a smell of slight sulfur in the air. Granted, it was growing more and more faint. So, Shining Vanguard, we pick right back up. Sitting around outside, we're at 6 p.m. or so. Things are starting to get dark here in the Mournlands. As you sit here after casting the spell and after getting the answers from Crowley, that Xandros was pushed by something. And a couple of you have deduced it was something presumably fiendish. So, is there anything else that you're going to want to do for tonight?
Is there anything...
Go ahead.
I would say, would we even have time, or would Otto even have timers? He's got his stuff to do.
Well, I mean, it depends on what your priorities are right now. There is clearly something that there's clearly been a murder. You have another Warforged assassin right now that is currently unattended inside. And you also have the tank bus that you're working on. Where do your priorities lie, and what are you doing? Because daylight is not long.
Speaking only for Otto, he would express, Uncle Artyom, Uncle Crowley, and Kaushik, I trust that you will look further into this matter as far as it needs to. As far as us not being here any longer than we need, I am going to proceed to continue work on the tank bus.
Pip's gonna be like, excuse me, have you made sure that the little robot, the Warforged, is not going to be a danger to us now? Do we know that for certain?
I will apply restraints, so even if it does regain animation, it will be unable to attack. It is also of pertinent information. I have already disarmed it.
I feel like maybe we're going about this the wrong way. We should probably try to resuscitate the Warforged so that we can befriend it and it does not see us as enemies.
Or at the very least, so that we can question it.
It's just gonna be you fucking doing me head in. It's just.
Venora, not a part of this conversation. She was off to the side with Gabriel. Walks up to the middle of you now. What do we do now? What is the plan from here?
I'm going to do some magic, so people should stay back. But if you could, in a minute, bring me that little guy.
What about Xandros?
We'll give him a proper burial. Or Artyom kind of looks over at Kaushik. We could try to bring him with us if we have enough room.
I guess.
Why would we do that?
Because I doubt he wanted to be buried in the Mournland.
It is his homeland. No matter what happens.
Okay, that's fair. Then we will bury him.
Take her inside, someone. I'll get started.
No need. I will just use mold earth and make a grave.
Yeah. All right. What level is mold earth?
Cantrip.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Using subtle magics. Feels odd. You still get uneven results at times, but able to make I assume you go a little bit of distance away from this essentially scrap yard, but not too dangerously far. Easily enough.
Into some fields right out there where they were doing stuff.
Yeah.
Nice loose earth soil, I would hope.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. After you get it done, Venora does bring Gabriel back out towards that area, just to pay respects or say goodbye, something. What are the rest of you doing while RTM's off doing that? Otto's working on the tank bus.
Probably would have done just a quick, perfunctory restraining of the automaton, but nothing that would have taken too terribly long.
Okay. Give me a quick survival check if you don't mind.
For sure.
Thumb cuffs.
Yes, thumb cuffs.
A finger trap.
Finger trap. Yeah.
17.
That looked like the woo thing. Jesus Christ. Okay, 17. Very nice. All right, what are the rest of you doing?
Pip's gonna go back to the area behind the farm equipment to see if she can see where, like, whomever might have escaped out of or fled out of.
Okay.
Like, does it lead to the street?
Yeah.
Zur will assist her.
You gonna help out Pip? Sure.
Zur's kind of just been looking around, seeing if there are any other potential dangers or persons not seen.
Okay.
Nervously, hand on crossbow. Just not liking this place in general.
So, Pip, you're looking for like footprints or something, right?
Or signs of like a door, a gate, like, something that looks like that's how. Yeah, all of the above.
Okay, give me a like if you're looking for something like where something physically escaped, give me a survival check as well.
Ew, not so good. I'd be a 5, sir.
Unfortunately, just the subtle wind of the moorlands and the way this, like the soil right where you are is just kind of very, very fine, like almost ash here. Can't find anything. There's a couple of gates out back, but you don't see any signs of like movement on them or anything, like they haven't been opened in a while. So, Kaushik, you doing anything?
I guess I'm just gonna stand out there and, I guess our team doesn't really need any help with,
It's up to
the
you.
mold earth and like burying the body or whatever, but I can say a little something. I don't know what else. I'll say a nice little something over the body, but that's just for me.
Okay. I got you. Are you just like saying it internally, or are you not a eulogy? I don't think, or are you like praying out loud above Xander?
Yeah, but like a little wispy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very well. Hours get late. Benora sort of looks over Gabriel for the majority of the night. Once they're calmed down a little bit more and resting on like the side of the warehouse, Benora will come up and try to continue to help with whatever she can as far as the tank bus goes. A little bit of a
Like
delay here.
she leaves Gabriel?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, I want to intercept
Sure. Who?
Venora specifically.
Okay.
If she seems to be kind of leaving
Yeah,
Gabriel.
she's like leaving Gabriel
by
and coming
themselves.
back over to the group.
Yeah. I'm just gonna kind of interrupt and what has happened to Xandros is a tragedy. And despair has a way of creeping in when beset by tragedy in these kind of environments. Stick together for now. Just kind of nod back towards Gabriel. The only way we or anyone can make it through these kind of trials is supporting one another, sticking together. We will finish this work, don't worry.
Looks back at Gabriel, looks at the tank bus. I have known despair intimately for 3 years. She'll be fine. We need to leave here.
If you are confident that you or her, or them, will never sink, then I will not contest it. Leaks spring when one least expects them, though. And if you are not watching for them, well then, there's little you can do. That's up to her.
Yeah, she I'm gonna say like no insight check required here. It's gonna give you the same sort of gimme I gave RTM earlier. As far as like a haunted one background, these folks have been through the ringer, and like looking into Venora's eyes right here, you get that same sort of feeling like fuck. Like
yeah, and I get that. I'm trying to push her towards the
I know.
This is some shit. If y'all leaving folks alone after these kind of things, not really a good idea.
Yeah, it seems Gabriel's not left alone in a wake. Just like the shock has worn her out to the point where they're just sleeping now. So, yeah. Thank you for your concern. Getting out of here is important, and as soon as possible.
Gabriel dies when Venora's not around. Fucking, I'm gonna have words.
Okay. Is there anything else anybody wants to do tonight?
Yup.
Sure.
I want to get someone to drag that little guy into a tiny hut that I'm going to attempt to make. Just
In a tiny hut, you said?
Yeah.
So you're gonna make a tiny hut?
Yeah, like
The
third level
dome!
ritual spell.
The
Yeah.
dome returns.
What level is it?
Third level ritual.
Please roll a
I
D100
rolled
for me.
a 37.
I'm gonna send you a Facebook message because this is just gonna be better without context for anyone else.
Oh, okay.
You create the dome though. It's nothing that goes into effect immediately. You create the dome. Are you bringing
Cobalt.
the tiny warforged in?
I will have someone bring it to me.
I would. Yeah, I want to accompany. I want to be present for this.
Sure.
If possible.
Yep.
I'm so curious.
It's
What
'cause
the
it's funny.
fuck? I want
I'm
to.
curious and nervous at the same time. Like, what the what?
Okay, so you bring this small warforged in there. He's bound by auto. Work noises in the background as the tank bus is being welded together and bolted together by anybody else who's helping there. Sure, it is still currently incapacitated, or at the very least seems that way.
Thank you, Broom. Okay, let's see. God damn it. Let's see if this
What? Oh no. Are you feeling alright?
I'm feeling fine.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm absolutely sure.
Very well.
Anyway, I am going to hit this little guy with a healing word.
Okay, roll another D100 for me.
Yep.
Roll the same thing. Roll it again. It makes it worse.
Undo.
No, it doubles down.
I-
It now lasts forever.
I almost did. I rolled a 39.
Nice.
All right. Well, will you cast healing word, first level, and go ahead and roll that healing for me.
It will be 6 total.
6 total. Okay. Good to know.
How you roll a 1?
It's interesting, RTM. Being a druid, you've been a snake before. So the S's that are coming out of your mouth are just, they're flowing, and it's like, this is an odd feeling, and you cast healing words, and then all of a sudden you're kind of like very nimble, and your bones go a little bit further than they maybe did before. Your dexterity's increased by 2 for the next minute.
Okay. I'm
That's
a
pretty
sneaky
good.
snake.
You're
Can
a
that put it over
sneaky
20?
snake. It doesn't say it can't. So, this creature.
Everyone, remember these numbers.
How
These
did you
are the targets.
bind this tiny warforged, Otto? Just so I know. Like arms in front, arms behind, hog tie.
yeah,
Welded its wrists together.
Yeah, you said it was like kind of like folded up together. So probably just some whatever the Eberron equivalent of like zip ties to some of the more crucial joints. Basically, you know, like when you're tying things together, sometimes if you get like just the right position, they create a greater binding force than just regular tying. It's like that, like not a whole bunch of restraints, but a few well-placed ones.
Yeah. All right. So it's kind of like
Oh, man.
folded over on itself currently. You feel it sort of. You hear some of the gears and cogs within start moving and whirring. Is it
Hello, friend.
picks up?
Oh
its
shit,
head.
Otto's in
Are
here
you
with us?
here?
Otto just
Shit, Jesus.
Otto just pops his head into the dome.
Hands into the dome. Hello.
Oh, is the thing in the dome?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We,
Oh, I thought Otto was keeping it where he was at in the
This is the
work.
Thunderdome.
Yeah,
Gotcha. My apologies.
Grab.
I missed that. I was looking at
I'm gonna wrestle it in the dome.
He's just got his big sausage dwarf hands on its shoulder. It's like all intimidating, like.
So it's bound currently. You see that its eyes sort of rotate and move as the sensors sort of adjust to the lighting in this place, and it starts looking around at each of you.
We mean you no harm. I'm not sure what happened, but we're all friends here.
I do not believe
Is
we
it-
understand each other.
Just a collection of whirs, beeps, escape from this thing's mouth. It is not language.
Oh. Balls.
Yeah, I will try to speak with it telepathically.
Can you understand me?
Its eye slits go very
Oh
narrow.
shit!
Engage assassin protocol.
I mean you no harm. It's just a way of telepathic communication.
Which it says every time I say it, not think it. I don't have to say snaky s's in my mental speech.
If it can understand you, it does not respond to you. But when you say
Oh,
that it means you
definitely
no
fucking
harm,
responded to me.
but when you say that we mean you no harm,
Angie.
it looks down at the binds around its arms and legs and looks back up at you.
You apparently slashed on the my compatriots. I don't know if you were startled. I didn't know if we woke you up, you will be whirling devilish trying to slit everyone's throats. But
It
just a
looks
precaution.
Down one more time in its bindings, and you see that the eyes that were squinted go fully wide, and it looks at both of its forearms, and it's hard to imagine a automaton crying, but what happens next is a series of whirs as it sees that its blades have been removed and its head sags in between its legs, and it just sits there quietly.
What?
Are you okay there, buddy? You're looking a little down. Well, you had to take those blades off because you might have tried to kill us with them, but we can give you... You're going to have to use your brain on this because I can't understand that.
That was
It
I
would
think you
never.
just said fuck
it-
you.
Can it write?
Whatever
think it
you're trying
Said
to
fuck you. I'm not sure.
right, probably.
Its hands are bound, so it can still write. Sure, well,
I'll go get a piece of paper.
Okay.
Like a writing utensil. I will
Or-
return shortly.
or
Okay.
I'll,
It's gonna John Wick you with an ink pen, just saying.
I'm wearing plate.
he's got the beard guard.
I do have a beard. It would have to get through my beard. I don't know who this John Wick is, but he does sound
Sounds like a
dangerous.
candle maker.
Actually, I do believe there was a Wick family in the Underdark, and that was their profession. They really liked their dogs. Very close relationship.
You hand him pen and paper.
Yep.
Okay. Our team, what's your AC?
I tried.
RTM's AC 20.
20. Because
Well,
of
probably
his...
18. I doubt I'm going to be like shield equipped while talking to this guy.
Okay.
That's fair.
Still being restrained and at disadvantage, the probably helps as you hand this creature the pen and the paper, and it takes the pen and flicks it towards Artyom, and you see it just like right by Artyom's throat.
I now feel very justified in taking away its weaponry.
I was gonna say this. Said, come on, man. I'm just trying to help you out here. I don't know exactly what happened with you in the dumpster. If you're just trying to kill everything, if you're just some sort of crazy creature or what. I don't want to just leave you deactivated in the Mornland forever. Why are you trying to kill me? I'm literally trying to save your life here. Yeah, you just tried to cut my throat with a pin. I'm gonna lightly just head bonk. I can't understand when you do that.
So I would just like to say, so to Brune's perception, Artyom's just looking at this thing. It's saying a bunch of stuff, and then he went bonk.
Correct.
Okay.
I assume not enough to
Just
cause
imagine it.
damage.
Broom's just sitting there like,
This is
I'm gonna
weird.
go get Otto. It's just like,
I'm just gonna do. Does it have no wish to communicate with
Well,
us?
I am speaking to it mentally, and it
Does
seems
it
to not
say-
it's not responding to me mentally.
That is a problem.
Around this time, Pip's gonna like stick her head in. Like she's been looking for everybody. It's like she doesn't trust that thing being gone, so she wants to know where it is. So she kind of like pokes her head in. Is everything all right in here?
Kill him with a pin.
She steps in. She's, what have you done? What's going on?
This is the one that jumped out at you in the trash can,
Where?
right? And
It seems to be taking umbrage with captivity.
it doesn't like being a prisoner, which is fine, but it's a lot better than dead. Oh wait, prisoner, but it's a lot better than dead.
Did you say it tried to kill Artyom with a pen?
Flicked it at him with intent to harm.
Do you believe me now?
I never said I disbelieved you. I just thought it is worthwhile to get information from this creature.
She's just gonna shake her head, sit back, pull her hammer out, cross her arms, let y'all do your thing.
Do you just have like? Is this like just like a fucking like ball peen hammer? What kind of hammer are we talking here? Just
like-
fucking.
Like a crafting hammer, or like a claw
oh,
hammer.
that
Push her down in the thing. She's just gonna
Oh,
like kick back against the wall.
Give me an
let you guys do your
intimidation
thing.
check, Pip.
Okay, let's see what we got.
Pip said, I'm gonna
I
take you to
can't-
the hardware department if you keep buzzing at me.
Yeah. It's like I can't math today, so I'm doing all
The math.
D&D Beyond rolls. It's only 7.
It's a very sad looking hammer.
It is. It's a petite.
Do we think that perhaps Otto would have a better time
Well,
communicating?
He
with
might
it?
be able. I mean, I can communicate with it fine. It just doesn't want to communicate back with me.
Are you sure?
You say this is the thing is glaring at Artyom again. Just
It seems upset with you.
Or yeah, I bonked it on my head because it was saying all kinds of weird things.
Or reach out with a hammer.
do you hit it? You hit it
Pop
with
it
a
on the
hammer?
head. Yeah,
Oh,
pop
what?
it. Like hard, but just like a
Oh, okay.
Ding! I believe it said ow.
Yeah, that was definitely it now.
Do not abuse the
communicate.
prisoner.
Why
We
not?
are the good
The prisoner abused us. We can do it. Pop it again.
All right,
Stop.
all right,
Jesus.
stop, just stop.
Corvair Jesus. Oh my god.
I'm going to go retrieve Otto. I will be right back. And it's kind of like, be cool.
Go-
go
going in-
go
going
get
in.
Otto.
Going into this guy's head again, or this Warforged head. All right, man, or woman. I don't know what
Well,
gender you
well,
prefer. What are you? What's the plan here? You just going to try and escape and kill all of us because we came into this area? Are you territorial? Yes or no questions?
Give me a persuasion check at disadvantage.
God damn it!
Ah!
That would be a grand total of 9.
God damn it.
The glare doesn't really change as its eye lights just sort of follow you if you're moving at all. It just stays on you.
DM, would you allow me to bop it on the head and make a comment for persuasion rather than intimidation?
Holy shit!
What?
Bonking
Hard,
someone
but again,
on the
just
head.
like a bonk and a like. I believe you should answer his questions.
That's definitely intimidation.
But I'm trying to convince.
You would give him
Like-
double disadvantage.
That's like where I come from. That would be like trying to persuade somebody to do the right thing, right?
Persuasion. Cause that's coercion, not
Like, that's
persuasion.
the mob persuasion.
We
No.
persuade. He didn't accept,
It's
so now
background.
give him cement shoes.
All right, sorry.
No
Didn't mean
matter
to
how
sidetrack.
twisted Pip's
Ask.
definition of persuasion are, that does not change the check that needs to be made.
I'm gonna go ahead and give her credit.
Yes.
Though. I'm gonna give her credit because we're talking about mob persuasion, but that's basically her background. So
Correct. You go up and grab Otto. A couple seconds. You're back in the.
Otto, perhaps you will have better chance communicating with the small warforged. It is
Right,
Has
proving difficult.
animation.
What?
Has it resumed animation?
Yes, it is unhappy with its current state of affairs.
I understand. Can you fill
It
me
seemed
in
quite
current event-
it seemed quite distraught at the lack of its armament.
I understand. Being disarmed and restrained in the presence of strangers would be both intimidating and concerning.
It does not seem intimidating. Just
I
angry.
don't think it's intimidated. I think you just, and it's not going to be cooperative. So you're just going to have to go in there and get the information that we need.
That seems deeply unethical.
Otto just kind of side-eyes Pip. I shall inquire as to its motivation.
Are you guys having this conversation outside of the dome?
I don't know. I presume I brought him over and was like, yeah, it's mad, as we were walking over.
As you're
Yeah,
walking
Otto
over.
was asking for like a
Yeah.
fill me in on what everything is.
I will fill you in as I take you to your patient, doctor. Kind
Thank
of
you.
situation. I'm reading off of his charts.
Oh, gee.
Ooh, nurse outfit, Brune. It's just.
That's
Oof.
Sexy.
join the Patreon. That's how you get that art.
That's the spicy Patreon,
Right.
anyways.
Wait, what?
As soon
Hello.
as
Like and subscribe.
Otto enters the dome, this creature's demeanor changes completely. it locks eyes with you, Otto, and that same word.
I don't suppose that's Nomish, is it?
No.
Worth asking. And that's the only other language that Otto knows.
That's what gnomes sound like to me now. that's what gnomes sound.
Otto, first of all, Otto is going to take a seat to try and be like on level with this thing, not like towering over it.
Sure.
And once he's seated and eye to eye with him, trying his best to like kind of slouch, not be intimidating, he'll say, I regret to inform you that I do not understand your verbal speech as of this time. I would like to find out if you understand me. Please tap 3 times. Or please make 3 distinct noises if you understand the words that I am saying. So it does not make 3 distinct noises.
Makes 3 distinct noises with it that it can.
Okay.
We gotta install a voice box on this thing.
That's what that was actually the next step, is to say, were you originally capable of regular speech? If so, please repeat that sound.
Same sound.
He's broke!
Would you give me consent to attempt to repair your voice device so that you can speak with us? I apologize, I did not understand that string of verbal commentary. If you are giving me consent to repair your device, please repeat that original 3-part-8 sound. Thank you very much, and I appreciate your patience in this matter. And Otto's gonna try and fix his voice box.
I feel like this thing curses like a sailor. Where you're fucking, it's gonna get fixed. It's like, fuck you, you fucking asshole. I hate all of you.
Just for context, Pip is in the corner just like... You're kidding me.
Okay. So you're gonna attempt to fix his vocoder?
Indeed.
All right. In that case, you can give me an Arcana check.
Brilliant. That will be a 27. No, 28. I apologize.
Very good.
No, 27. I am correct originally. My apologies.
No longer nice sucks.
You will see that as soon as you open it up, it looks like the entire thing is like cracked in half. But with your like just quick rewiring, connecting new wires, you may need to like hop out back towards the workshop and grab a couple of like soldering tools. A tough job, but able to be done. So you close the throat plate once more.
Hello, friend. Can you speak to me with your original voice?
I don't know, can I? I can talk.
This is excellent.
Lurches forwards. Its hands and feet are bound, but it lurches forward and like collides its chest with yours, and its head is on the side of yours, as if in a hug manner. And it whispers into your auditory sensors. Which one do you want to kill first?
I told you so.
Since it is a cantrip, he will use message to communicate with this thing. He will say, I am communicating with you privately, but I would like to inform you that these individuals are my family and friends. If you could please clarify your desire to kill them, the purposes behind it.
They bound me and took my blades.
I am so sorry. I was the one who disarmed you out of concern for my friend's health. Once all misunderstandings are wrapped up, and we are all on friendly terms, I will happily return to you your weaponry.
Why would you do that? Why would you take my blades?
Out of concern for my friend's safety. It was merely a precaution and no intention of disrespect.
You don't do that.
I understand my misstep. Could you please explain to me, perhaps why? I am new to this area, and I would be glad to be informed as to your cultural norms.
You don't take someone's blades unless they deserve it.
If I were to return to you your weaponry, would you utilize them against my friends and family, the compatriots you see around you?
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, this is not Otto struggling, this is Cody, because I'm trying not to fucking laugh.
Arshan's gonna be like, are you guys okay? That's a really long hug.
I am communicating with him utilizing my technological gear. I will fill you in shortly.
He can speak now, though. Correct.
Indeed. What is the purpose of you attacking my compatriots?
Because they surrounded me?
If you were unrestrained and disarmed, what would be the purpose of you attacking my compatriots?
I would still be surrounded.
If you were not surrounded, would your intent still be violence?
It looks like it's going through calculations.
Outside of these specific circumstances, what would your intent be towards outsiders, passing through with no intent to harm or restrain you?
Outsiders don't come this far. They don't make it this far. Only bad things make it this far. They have to be bad things.
I see. Would you pardon me for just one moment? I will be right back with you.
Okay.
And Otto's
eyes narrow once again as he stares at the rest of you.
Otto will communicate with Artyom again, also via message.
Sure.
What the fuck? It's like, why would I tell everybody?
This creature believes, or this, creature. This creature is under the impression that, due to the depth into the Mournlands that we have traveled, that those who are not Warforged, I am assuming, as he is including me with himself and not with you, that you must be, and I quote, bad things.
Why are you simply staring at Artyom?
He will verbally say, I am communicating with him utilizing my magical equipment. I will give you a... For simplicity and privacy's sake, for the moment.
Why
I will
does he
give
need
you a
privacy?
full
Perhaps
debrief
it'd be
shortly.
good.
The little fella is in here, and I cannot leave the dome.
I see.
Okay, so
What are Fleshbound doing out this far?
Fleshbound. Is that how you refer to us of the more, I suppose, fleshy variety?
Organic.
Organic, there you are. Yes.
A meat bag, even.
A meat
Small-
bag, even.
Via message, small friend, is fleshbound your blanket term for organic creatures?
It's what they are.
Bound in flesh.
Technically speaking, yes. Do you consider fleshbound your enemies by default, or is it only simply because they have made it this deeply into the Mournlands?
Both.
Would you ever consider fleshbound to be friends, or at least neutral parties.
Never friends.
Could you explain to me why?
Slavers. All of them.
Ooh, we got some deep-seated issues and trauma. All right. I do not know you, and you do not know me, but I can assure you that those in this specific party, at least, would not enslave another living being, flesh-bound or warforged. I cannot speak for the global whole.
He doesn't respond to you.
And in almost more of a, as much as a mental voice can have a friendly and comforting intonation, kind of like the mental version of like sidling up to next someone and like putting your arm around their shoulder, I guess.
Sure.
These individuals have fought for the freedom and supported the liberty of all creatures, flesh-bound and inorganic both. I am not saying that you must be their friends, but I assure you, as a fellow inorganic being, that they mean you no harm outside of any harm you would present to them. They have no intent to restrain, enslave, demolish. They wish only to leave the Mournlands, and they mean well by all those who mean well to them.
Give me a persuasion check.
Once again, I reached for my dice that I do not have. Hey! I don't have much of a bonus. With a +1, a dirty 20.
Nice.
Oh, +1 hurts.
Nice.
With a
Real
dirty
kick in
20
the-
on a persuasion check, it looks this Warforged looks contemplative for a moment, stares at your friend, stares at you. Machines stick together, and you took my blades. You walk with fleshbound. Your friends are not my friends.
Did he say your friends are not my friends, or your friends are now my friends?
Not my friends.
I cannot force anyone to be friends. I would ask only that you recognize that they mean you no harm, as long as you mean them no harm. I would be more than willing to liberate and rearm you, if I can be assured that you mean them no harm, or will take action to bring harm to them. We wish only to depart the Mournlands, with as little violence and conflict as necessary.
If they don't hurt me,
Before
I will not hurt them.
Come on, you better
Understood.
insight that little motherfucker.
He's too trusting.
Oh yeah, that's
And
right.
he's having this fucking conversation all nobody else can insight because it's a one-on-one. The fucking message. You shit.
Why were you okay with letting him do this silently?
Because we can't stop him.
So Otto will not incite anything I've said this far, but he does recognize the danger of his friends and the situation that this thing has already attacked them. So he will say, with the intent of inciting afterwards, if I liberate you and rearm you, will you make that a promise? That you will neither harm them nor bring harm to them? And before it gets a chance to answer, he will say, I would like to show you, or clarify to you, that they have not taken my weapons, and that I travel with them, an inorganic being among flesh-bound, free. Do you promise?
If no one attempts to hurt me, I won't attempt to hurt them.
And that one he will insight because of the nature of the question.
Sure.
I don't think I have much of an insight bonus.
Yeah, why would
We're gonna use the last flash of genus on that.
Genius.
Flash of Janus!
Yes, flash of genus.
It's a flash of Janus, boy, I tell you.
And that will be a 19.
19.
Magic is denim flavored.
Flash of genes.
Your insight checking a machine. I mean, this creature, sort of looking around one, I think Otto would recognize fear. He would recognize that this creature is very reactionary, and even as you're having this one-on-one conversation, his highlights continuously flick to each of the other party members that are in here, all of the flesh bound, as he keeps an eye on them. But there's nothing that indicates that it is immediately aggressive. I think the thing with you said a 19. I think the thing with a 19 that Otto would get out of this is that maybe the same things that being attempting to hurt this creature may not be the same things for you versus him, right? He could perceive things as a threat and could be very reactionary. But other than that, it doesn't seem to be deceptive in nature.
Ooh, getting the Otto voice and description is rough these long RP sessions. And turning and explaining to the party, this small one is frightened and seems to have been the victim of potentially extensive persecution at the hands of organic beings, which it refers to as flesh-bound, which would include all of you here except for myself. I have promised to unrestrain him and turn to him his weaponry. I would ask that you not show him any violence, as peace on our part has been a part of the agreement. It sees you as threats to itself, but it has no malice towards you otherwise. Please do not provide to it any threat. Do not come between it and any potential escape route should it choose to flee for any reason, known or unknown to us. Do I have your agreement? Otherwise I shall have to take it elsewhere before I rearm it and liberate it.
Surely, before it departs, can you make sure to ask it if it wishes for those of us of the organic persuasion to avoid it and its friends, how we might best avoid its friends? Like, we're not asking where they are, where to stay away from, like the general area to stay away from.
That is
we
a
may
most...
not have more conflict.
That is an excellent question and clarification. Thank you very much, Bruno.
I feel
Small
like
friend.
I am being... I'm not sure.
Small friend, you were able to hear and understand his question. We wish to present to you no threat, and in what ways can we ensure that we do not do that? Where should we avoid, and what actions should we avoid?
Blades first. I made my promise.
Very well.
I do not care about the order of operations.
And Otto will liberate and rearm him in the next building over.
Just take him out of the building?
Or out of the dome, away from the organics that he sees as
what the heck?
threats.
Okay.
I mean, that last part was verbal. And he will explain, because I'm assuming it'll take a minute for him to gather the blades, the needles, whatever necessary to remove the restraints. and explain that, both to avoid unexpected stuff while everyone's in the dome and to make sure that the small one does not feel threatened by being liberated around a bunch of what it perceives as threatening creatures, kind of do so elsewhere.
Okay.
I understand you are more comfortable away from the organics, or as you refer to them as flesh-bound. So I shall return you to your original working order elsewhere. Onward.
Gotcha. You get them in a place. I mean, this warehouse is quite large. The vehicle you're working on is fucking massive. So you can get him in a place away, like in a place pretty far away without necessarily leaving the building itself.
Yeah, just I guess if everyone else is in the dome, then just outside the dome and away a little bit.
Okay. And you install his blades and everything back?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You unbind him and you reinstall his blades. You see for a moment and maybe have a moment of panic as they and begin to spin again as he tests them, and then they stop on his forearms and he just sits there and holds them in place.
Are they fully operational as you intend?
Yes.
Now that you are liberated and armed, would you be willing to provide me some insight? You must understand I am frustratingly ignorant as to your circumstances and ours.
Why are you with them?
Quite frankly, and perhaps an oversimplification, we are trying to save the world from certain destruction.
They've already destroyed it. They'll keep doing it.
They have destroyed the Mournlands, yes. I cannot deny you that truth. There is plenty of world outside of it.
They'll destroy that too, in time, if they're given that choice.
You seem to have suffered great hardship. Would you be willing to share that with me?
No more than any other machine.
I have suffered both hardship and joy at the hands of organics, both my compatriots and otherwise. I have also met many Warforged out in the world outside of the Mournlands. And I don't have my NPC shit up. I have it in my notes somewhere. So thank you. You already know what I was gonna say. That's good. Thank you. That was impressive. And he is going to tell him about Soul and his friends and the music that Soul creates and Soul's aspirations to create more art and all that.
I don't know how to make you understand. You can't see it for what it is. Still a slave.
Would you be willing at least to be my friend?
Machines help each other.
I help all beings. Organic and inorganic. Those who would enslave and do ill, organic or inorganic, will be destroyed. Those who need protecting, organic and inorganic, will be protected. Perhaps ambitious, but that is what it means to do good.
You're still programmed to do war for them. Still in chains. You can break free.
can I share with you something fairly private?
Just sort of leans in.
Otto will look around. I carry within me the programming to be a weapon, create great destruction on the command of those that I am bound to. And that programming lies entirely dormant. I can see it in a way. I do not understand why it is dormant. But my creator was a human named Milo Goggins. And he wanted me, at least, to make my own decisions in future. I can be a weapon, an artist, a family member. To one degree or another, I have chosen to do all of these things, as much as is needed, but ultimately it is my choice. I am still figuring out what I want to do, how I should make the decisions of what I want to do. I am still not certain about what I will choose, but I have decided that the figuring out of that is perhaps the greatest joy. And the organics that I travel with and that I fight to protect have not tried to take that from me. There are terrible people, organics out there, but that is not all. And I am quite certain that my simple anecdotes cannot undo what traumas and evils you have suffered. But I hope that it will be, at the very least, food for thought.
Not all flesh-bound are evil. Some are just ignorant. Your creator programmed you. Code either missed or not. You still serve. Your choices are hollow. They're not your own.
And yours are? There is nobody that you serve.
I serve the blades.
And did you choose that service?
It's the only choice I've ever made.
I have also chosen who I serve. I am not restrained. Should I choose to walk away, I have that freedom.
Then do so.
But I do not want to. That is what freedom is choosing to do what you desire, and not what you are coerced to do. Soul was originally coerced. Let me make sure I don't fuck this up. Soul was originally a warforged in the war, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Thought so, I didn't want to put my foot in my mouth. Soul was originally coerced to fight in combat.
You know this for context, just so you know, Soul was reprogrammed by a rich benefactor to play music.
But he is now seeking that of his own volition, right?
He still continues to do so after the fact, yes.
Yeah. Soul has chosen his own fate. After the conflict, he was given a new set of skills by organics, but with both of these capabilities, he has gone on to make his own future. I do the same. Many others do the same. Some are still coerced. Those deserve liberty, and I will give it where I can. But again, I am under no illusion that a simple conversation will completely alter your perspective. But I hope you will ruminate on it, and perhaps one day open your mind. But now you are unrestrained, rearmed, and just as my friends continue to give me freedom, you have yours.
Takes a step away from you. Go ahead. You had your hand up. What's up?
I realized my friends gave me freedom was not what I had intended to say. It was probably be they have not attempted to take from me my freedom.
Gotcha. You say that he has his freedom. He takes a step away from you. Takes another step. Opens the door behind him. And leaves into the night.
Before the other one turns around to leave, Otto will give him a nod and simply say via a message, "Please remember your promise, as I have fulfilled mine."
Dips out of the door and into the night.
Be well.
Stay free.
And like as soon as he shuts the door, it is silent. You hear no footsteps, no nothing. Just quiet.
Otto is probably going to sit there for a while after Small Warforged leaves.
Sure. You guys, unless there's anything else that wants to happen for the night, are you guys setting up a watch or anything at this point? You guys. Okay, all right. I just want you guys set up a watch.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And also, you know, when Otto does return, so did he tell you where we should stay away from so that we do not run afoul of his comrades?
To the DM, the Dragonfly will definitely be keeping watch all night.
Gotcha.
Hey, where did your little friend go?
Away.
That seems like a really bad idea.
Why?
Did he
Why
tell
did he
you where
leave?
to avoid his compatriots?
He did not give that information before he departed.
Shit.
Shit. I feel like we are going to be attacked.
I hope not.
Yeah, well, that doesn't stop it from being a thing.
Why are you talking like
Are
that?
you okay, Artyom?
I'm totally
Did
fine.
Did you drink the other bottle of ale that I left behind? What?
You left behind a bottle of ale?
Oh, I didn't leave it behind. It's here. Want to split?
Please do not.
I need it now.
Just a little bit to take the edge off.
Prince,
Don't worry.
I
they
know,
said.
I know where that
It's
came from,
information,
right?
they said.
I know where that ale came from. I'm gonna take out my alchemy jug. Please do not drink whatever beverage you found in that store. Just.
Oh,
Fine.
yeah.
This is the people who want to trust the little murder robot. Okay, no problem. Now
did
they're
not-
worried about something.
I wished to ask where its compatriots were so that we might avoid them, and here we are now. Apparently, it is left without divulging that information.
While
You don't
Brune...
have anything
oh, sorry.
stronger than ale.
I can
I don't-
do wine or beer.
Hold that for empty bottle. Fill it.
Although-
I don't care what.
Do you
While-
feel like this little guy was going to come and tell his friends?
He promised to do us no harm, and to bring no harm down on us. I believe that would fall under that blanket, and I think, and I hope, he will honor that promise.
Did you know?
But while Pippa and Brune were having that conversation, Otto will have walked over to Artyom and lean in and say, House de Kenneth has much to answer for, and they will answer for it before all is said and done.
Doesn't Otto have memory of Milo's conversation with Merrick's Decaneth?
Yes.
Okay,
It was,
I just wanted to make sure.
we did not start on like a benevolent playing field.
Okay.
It has only gotten worse.
I would like to experiment on the crystals that contain child souls.
To be fair,
while
though,
I twist my mustache.
that was Merrick's specifically, but this is kind of ballooning out to the greater Decaneth.
Yeah, okay.
And he will leave the bubble again.
Okay.
Let everyone know it's pretty safe in here.
DM, I have a quick question because
Yeah.
I just used the alchemy jug to make 4 gallons of beer.
Mhm.
Oh, shit.
But that's how much it makes, man.
This is the good stuff.
So it says when I know healing is weird here in the Mournlands. I have the amulet of the drunkard, where if I consume a pint of basically alcohol, of beer, ale, mead, or wine, that I heal. Does that kick in?
How much are you consuming?
I have to consume a pint.
That's what I'm saying. How much beer are you consuming tonight?
I'm not getting drank. I'll drink a
You
pint.
drink a pint. How much do you heal off of a pint?
44 plus 4.
44 plus 4. Go ahead and roll it.
Sure.
Alex is like, go ahead and roll it. Don't get any of that.
6.
That's what you could have had.
9. 11. 15.
15. You'll heal for 7.
I'll take it.
You to mourn all that healing you just lost.
Shut up, Ken.
Okay.
I'll take 7 HP.
Anybody else doing anything for the night?
It turns out the real way that we could have healed all those guys is by getting them drunk as shit.
It's just me, man. It's just my amulet. I got bling for it. The healing is not in the booze, I promise.
Alas.
Okay.
No more spells.
Yep.
Okay.
Strict watch order for the inevitable assault from Rogue Warforge.
Very well. You guys set up a watch order easily enough. Gabriel will not be a part of it, but Nora will assist on one. You guys keep an eye out. And give me one second.
Nothing I'm doing, but just want to put a description out there. For anyone that's been paying attention, Azor's crossbow looks noticeably different now. You would notice specks of Bishik intertwined into it.
Hey. Hell yeah.
Got that dang on. Motherfucker. Bah!
You guys drifting off to sleep, your watch order going along. Crowley. Your bedroll, to bring it over, a white sheet sort of draped over you. The last person, still, Crowley's, early to bed, early to rise sort of guy. So the last sort of workings on the tank bus going on, you hear auto goom, goom, goom. And we exit the space of the warehouse. And we find Crowley at a dinner table. You sit at the dinner table, a couple of laughs going around between you, Celine, and Talia. The little one sitting in her high chair across from you. Boom, boom, boom. A knock on the door. Celine taps your shoulder, says, "I'll get it." Gets up. She steps back in for a moment, says, "Talia," and she picks up your youngest. "Help me put the little one to bed. Come on." She just sort of leaves you sitting there at the table for a moment. She squeezes your shoulder, kisses you on the cheek before she leaves the room.
Crowley will reach out and grab his little daughter's hands and say, "Good night, children."
Hi, Daddy.
Just give him a smile.
As they exit out towards the rooms, from your front door, sort of into this dining area, you see a white handkerchief appear and waved around as if in surrender. You see, peeking around, an older gentleman. His hair, what's left of it, it's thinning, but it's slicked back and kept nice. Clean shaven, sort of suntanned complexion, still in uniform. You've known him for years at this point. He's not too far from retirement, nor should have been until he was recently reassigned. You see Roland. He takes his handkerchief and he has a bottle of Kyron brandy and a couple of cigars in the other hand. It says, "Truce."
Crowley will stand up and walk over to the older gentleman and be like, "Truce. Have you had anything to eat yet?"
Good. However, he looks at the bottle of brandy. Do you have some glasses?
"I do." And Crowley will, "Please be seated." And he'll go to the cabinet.
Oh, no, my
pull out some.
Let's go to the back porch. And he holds up the cigars.
Very well.
I hear it's bad for the little ones. It's all this new fad medicine of some sorts.
Well, you wouldn't have to worry about me anymore. You'd have to worry about my wife.
This is fair.
And her father.
He hands you one of them, pours you guys a couple of glasses. You stand on the back porch here, sort of looking at the city of Metrol. The night lights just sort of blinking. Metrol is a massive city. The pillars holding up different parts of the city. The like trolleys that go up to the different layers in Metrol, moving back and forth. Roland takes a puff of his cigar, drinks his brandy. You know, I didn't want this case. You know this, right?
I know.
Central's an asshole.
He is. And I know you're very close to retirement, Roland. I know you're going to do the best you can, but like I said, you're close to retirement. There's no need for you to stress out over this. In a couple of weeks, it's not going to be your problem anymore. And I understand that. I really do. You know, we're both intelligent men. But, he's going to take a sip. But I'm incredibly fucking furious.
I can only imagine.
Did he tell you anything else about what I've been off doing?
I've been debriefed, yes. Children going missing, ghosts apparently doing it, not many leads. Some sort of network that you've uncovered for the most part, but every time you get there, it's always a step behind.
Someone's got to be leaking information, but the old bastard thinks I'd like to stay away from my family for weeks on end.
I'm sure he doesn't think that.
Well, I'm not sure what he thinks sometimes. But all I know is they're getting away with it. There's a leak somewhere rolling. I swear to God. Corvair Jesus even.
I haven't heard of that one, but, you know, there's hundreds of them now.
I picked it up in the West. Don't worry about it. Crowley's gonna put the cigar in his lips and just light up.
Yeah, he's sitting there, rolling. Notorious cigar smoker. Always carries one with him, but these are nice. He definitely spends some money on them. I'll
get you.
Go ahead.
I'll get you one on your retirement day. This is expensive. I don't smoke, but I can tell.
I'll hold you to it.
If I still have a job.
I just wish this war was over. I have grandkids.
Well, think about it. You're going to have retirement very soon. You'll be able to spend time with them while I'm dicking around maybe in Sharon, leaving my kids here to grow up without me.
Why
They're
don't you
growing
leave?
up pretty fast.
You're a smart guy, Crowley. You could do anything.
Crowley.
Oh, I'm sorry. So my bad. Caiaphas.
I'm an illusion. I'm an illusion of God. They have me. I look at my kids every night and I think about them. All these other children being taken. The parents I've interviewed. The missing case files. Every time we lose someone, it just feels like it's my children getting taken, Roland. And I just feel empty inside. I can't help but look into my daughter's eyes, and then I see the eyes of the parents telling me how their children are gone, and I can't give them a damn answer. I can't tell them anything. And right here, after 6 weeks, searching, turning up, nothing, I've got to go babysit the nobility. It's funny. It's enough to make a man cry.
You're a good man. Too good. All the
never
bad
said-
things that happen aren't on you to fix.
But I really feel like this, Roland, I feel like I'm the only one who can do it. I don't know why. Everyone else is burnt out, tied into the war. No one was even really looking into it until I started connecting the dots. I know you're about to retire, Roland, but could you just do me a favor? Just
Of course.
try. As I'm not saying you don't try, you're a great officer, truly, but do as much as you can, please, while I'm over there.
Of course.
Please. Thank you.
I'll keep you updated. I will. You'll have all of my notes.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I must. I'm just so tired. I'm sorry.
Well, get some rest. Yeah, some actual sleep.
Crowley's just gonna look up and just give him a wry smile. Like I said, I'll return the favor when it's retirement day. I'll contribute to the party fund. Don't worry.
Grabs your shoulder, just squeezes it. Have a good night, my friend.
Sure, I can't tempt you with some of my wife's cake.
Yeah, I'll take a slice of cake.
Oh, all right. It's a strawberry upside down cake.
Can I take a slice for the wife as well?
Absolutely. It's delicious.
With a great insight check, Crowley knows that slice of cake's not making it home, most likely. However,
He's close to retirement. He's getting a little chubby. I'm too blind to say anything, though.
Roland sees himself out, and as you're sitting there, sort of cleaning up the dishes and whatnot in the house, Talia comes in, your eldest. I think I've made the decision.
Have you? And he's just gonna be like picking up dishes like from the table.
You see her, and she's like she's very clearly like nervous to be having this conversation. She's holding like a brochure or some parchment or something that she's like crinkled to death just out of nerves or something.
Seeing this, Cromwell's gonna put down the dishes, okay? And seeing how serious she is, he's gonna take a knee so that he's at eye level with her.
Well, Talia is, at this point, is in her 20s.
Nah, she's short. I don't care what life and physics dictates. I'm gonna take a knee. She's gonna be at eye level with me.
Okay, sure.
Not that I'm tall or anything, but yes. What if I'll sit down? There we go. Okay, I'll sit down.
Right. She sits down beside you, and she hands you a brochure, and it's for the Weinarn Institute of Art. It's right here in Metrol. It's not far, which is surprising. Talia, as much as you may love or hate it, Talia is a whirlwind, and she's already traveled. She disappears for days at a time. She likes traveling and being places, and this is why it's such a tough decision for her. But it's here in Metrol. She says, I think I want to be an actress.
Cromwell's, he's going to, like, you know, trying to, like, suppress the surge of excitement he feels inside himself. He's like, you're sure? No one's coercing you? You're not...
Oh,
you don't have to stay near us. You know, I know you want to see the world, and
this is...
I mean...
I get the chance to do that. I can... So I went... They have a new school, a university, and they teach all sorts of arts. And I went on a tour. That's where I've been for the past couple of days. They did like a dorm sleep-in thing, and it's nice. And I could travel the world once I'm done.
Then you won't mind staying closer to family for a few more years?
It will be hard, but no, I don't think so. I haven't told Mother yet.
I'm proud of you. Then he's going to just reach down and, like, wrap his arm around. Can I tell you a secret? I'm happy you're staying nearby for a few more years at least.
You wrap your arm around her and sort of stuffed in one of her, like, dress pockets on the side. You feel something sort of smooth but hard in her pocket, and like seeing just the brief bit of, oh, I forgot. They give this to me when we were doing the tour, and she brings out a white theater mask and just sort of like holds it over her face.
And, he's gonna wipe the tears from his eyes, and he's gonna look at her and say, "That's a very lovely mask. You know, I'm gonna, between you and me, I can't wait to see you perform. I'll be your biggest fan. My little moon. Who told you could grow up so fast?"
Moon goes down. Our camera pans away from the dining room table of Caiaphas and Talia having this conversation, this connection. That's where we're gonna end the night's session.
Nice. Oh man.
Aww.
For a second there, I thought that thing in her pocket was gonna be a knife, and
That's I don't know if you did this.
he was gonna transition from
dagger
dream to real life of getting stabbed by a Lord of Blades.
It was all auto.
Alright. Well, thank you guys for playing with me. Thank you guys for joining us. I hope you had a good time. I know I did. So, we are Hard Knock Dice. We stream every Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where you can come and see this across Eberron, where we do all sorts of crazy things. We got another campaign coming up, but we don't have details on that yet, so you don't get to know because I don't know. However, it's going to be lots of fun, and yeah, so you should definitely make sure you follow so you know when we go live. You can also follow us on Twitter, although I have not been very active because that website's gone to fucking hell. I'm going to be real with you guys for a second.
It's great.
And Twitter, X, Zitter, whatever you want to call it these days.
It's Twitter.
Yeah.
We love a
can't
good
stop
dumpster
me.
fire.
However, you can follow us on there. We will post the occasional update. However, probably the best way to keep in contact with us is through the Discord, !Discord in the chat if you would like to join that. No, Facebook is not a good place considering that we're not on there. So,
LinkedIn?
yeah, there's the Discord
what you
invite
think.
right there. So, yeah, the platform formerly known as Twitter. Exactly. So, if you can follow us on here, you'll get notified when we go live. Follow us on Twitter and on TikTok as well. We're on all of those things. But so we have a new campaign coming up, so make sure you keep an ear out for that. Also, we're gonna have a couple of one shots coming up as well, so be on the lookout for that because we're gonna put out some casting calls for that sort of stuff. Yeah, make sure you donate to Extra Life, ! Charity in the chat. We're raising money with Extra Life, the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. Open your heart wallets, do the lawful kind thing, and all that good stuff. We're gonna raid. I don't have very many people to raid right now, so we're gonna raid our old friends over at Dice Legends. So yeah. Did I miss anything? Did I get everything? I think I said everything.
I think so.
Follow, subscribe, donate to charity.
Woo!
That's it. Much love. Bye.
Bye! Bye! You can't steal my bye, Wyatt.